Athanasius teach the world. Eunomius, Macedonius, dimmed by doubt. Constantinople, cast all of them out. The Cappadocians rose to fight. Trinity, three in one, let there be light. Glory for the righteous, the faithful sail. The gates of Hades will not prevail. Through trials and heresies, triumph over lies. The Orthodox succeed, to heretics demise. The truth of the word continues to rise. Nestorius seeks to divide the Lord, but Cyril stands with strength restored. One person of Christ, Theotokos crowned. The voice of truth shall resound to natures divine and man. In Christ united, the eternal plan. Leo's tome, the faithful cheer. The church stands strong forever clear. Glory for the righteous, the faithful sail. The gates of Hades will not prevail. Through trials and heresies, triumph over lies. The Orthodox succeed, to heretics demise. The truth of the word continues to rise. False teachings sway the unfaithful. Vigilius repents and is grateful. Christ has two wills and two energies. Maximos and Agatho, eternal memory. Icons raise, the faithful sing. The image of Christ, a holy thing. Honor the saints, the faithful see. John Damascene, holy orthodoxy. Through fire and trial, persecution and flame, the Orthodox Church marches on in Jesus' name. Martyrs and fathers, voices of might, defenders of truth, uncreated light. Glory for the righteous, the faithful sail. The gates of Hades will not prevail. Through trials and heresies, triumph over lies. The Orthodox succeed, to heretics demise. The truth of the word continues to continues to
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the stream. My oh my, have we had a social media firestorm lately? We got a membership from Paul Harper. Thank you for the membership. Appreciate that. It's one of the best ways to support the channel. If you sign up for a membership, super chats, and I promised you guys we're gonna have Father Peter Hears on tonight, Father Dr. Peter Hears, to talk about these scandalous quotes that have been coming from the Pope, right? The leader of this this political entity in Rome, right? But Father Peter came down with a stomach bug and he is under the weather. He wasn't able to make it, but I had planned something already with that guy, Joshua Nadeau, from that video that we saw with Ruslan, and he's here today. So everybody say hi to my friend, Joshua Nadeau. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, so good. How you doing, my friend?
So far, so good, man. You've been catching a few strays here and the stuff going on between Ruslan and Jay.
Yeah, which has been great. It's great to sign in and just see like, hey, what's this guy doing here?
Yeah, exactly. But real quick, I want to go through, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I tried to set out some lawyerly-ish set of facts here in the description. So that if you guys are not up to date with what's happening, I'm just going to go through them real quick. I went through them with Josh a little bit. He didn't have any strong objections to any of it. So just to get you guys up to date, I'll just read through it for you guys. So recently, Cassian King, you guys know Cassian. We recently reacted to a video posted by Ruslan from his conference known as the Blessed God Summit. The video shows an interaction on stage between seasoned Protestant apologist, Dr. Gavin Ortlund, veteran Roman Catholic apologist, Trent Horn, Orthodox catechumen, Joshua Nadeau. Now, I guess we can probably stop there for a moment. And we can talk about, how did you become an Orthodox catechumen? First of all, like, who are you? Who is this person? That's what everybody's asking.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Yeah. So,
so you got it.
What was your start? Did you grow up Christian? Like, what's your background?
Yeah, so I grew up Reformed Baptist, and so the journey over to the East was a long and arduous one. There's a lot of unprotestanting and uncalvinizing my brain, and so yeah, I mean, I won't start with my dad and my mom falling in love and one thing leading to another, but so like the big ticket items are, I went to Reformed Baptist Seminary doing my master's. It was a small seminary, and so I was one course away from my MDiv. But the way,
but you did get the THM, right? The
an
MTS. MTS.
Yeah, an MTS.
Master's in Theological Studies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
when was that about? Like what year?
That would have been 2016. And so it was during that time that I stopped being Reformed and stopped being Baptist. I was writing a paper on the virgin birth, I think, for one of my systematics classes. And I remember reading some Catholic and Orthodox theologians and just thinking to myself, where has this been my whole life? Like, what am I, who hid this from me? Why did people hide this from me?
So you said, real quick, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, of course.
But that it was around the time that you were completing or had completed your MTS degree that you were kind of stepping away from, it was Protestantism in general?
Slowly. I mean, like, you know how these things are. It's like inception, like a seed gets in you and then it unmakes you and you don't know who you are. So I went through this season of like rediscovery. So I was going to this like Reformed Baptist seminary.
It was, so I guess we could describe it as a moment in time when you were open to rebuilding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your worldview.
Totally.
Okay.
Exactly. And so essentially, and as you know, when you're rebuilding a worldview slowly, there's all these things of your current worldview that are being torn down. And then there's all these things you don't know that need to be replaced. And so every moment, like in my spare time, because I have my master's, so the academy, I love, that's all I still do is read and write and draw. And so I would be reading, studying, and then confronted with something I never thought about coherently, or been presented like a steel man against, for example, sola scriptura or justification, as I'm sure we'll get into in a moment. And then the process for me was like winding. So I read Pope John Paul II's Theology of the Body, and that was really eye-opening to me. I read a lot of Eastern Orthodox stuff, and everything I would read from the East was just like the thing my heart was longing for. And so as time went on, this took years, by the way. So I'm 37, I turned 38 this year. I still move at the pace of dial-up. I don't consume content in a new way. I read books and I have to live in them.
Silver Ogre asks, were you phroneme maxing?
Yeah, I was totally acquiring the phronema. And so it was a blast. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I felt like super alive. And then everyone in my world was like, Josh, you're becoming a heretic. And I'm like, I think you guys are heretics.
I can empathize with that one. Yeah,
totally. So I know you resonate. And so then once I was pretty convinced, my wife and I were married in 2015. I had to start introducing her to Orthodoxy. She grew up non-denominational, went to a lot of charismatic churches. And so we started having big conversations, and I started her on the stuff that was exciting to me and capturing my heart. She's an artist as well. And so icons and the beauty in the church and the lives of the saints, I mean, like, I think they get everyone. The saints get everyone. And then eventually she just fell deeply, deeply, deeply in love with Orthodoxy. And then we had to start making big decisions on where we're going to go. So there's an OCA parish I live in Canada. I'm in the West Coast.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have a comment. Microwave says that the audio keeps cutting out. Guys, Microwave, you might just have to refresh the stream. I can hear Josh just fine.
Okay.
Anybody in the chat? Can anybody else in the chat? Do they have audio issues, or does it sound fine for you guys? Let me know, please. Z-Man says audio is fine.
Okay, yeah.
We're good. Fine for me. Okay. Yeah, microwave just refreshed the stream, dude. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry
no
to cut you off, Josh.
No, dude, I mean, sound is important. I gotta
Well, I didn't want
my good name.
I didn't want to have the whole story out there and then nobody be able to hear it anyway, right? So
yeah, totally. So then we started we were exploring a lot of things because there was this very pragmatic decision that we needed to make. So we have 2 kids, we have a third on the way, and
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And so we're praying and processing and like discerning, Lord, where do we go? There's a lot of things I don't know. And I grew up in a world where there's kids programs and there's all these things that support, and we kept just wrestling through this idea where we have to go where things are true and it will be the best for us, for our kids, and for everyone that comes. And we're going to have a lot of latent Protestantism that's deep in us because we were both born and raised in it for the first 35 plus years of our life. And so we started going to an Eastern Orthodox OCA mission parish here.
When about did you start doing that? Like what year?
So
we build timelines in our head.
Of course,
so I'm not trying to grill you or anything.
No, of course, I appreciate it. So we first started going to, there's a Ukrainian Orthodox church here. We started going there. And then I have a couple friends online. He just stopped going by Orthodox Luigi, but Ben, I was like, I messaged him. I was like, dude, like steer me in the right direction. He's like, hey, go to this parish. So that might have been 2022, 2023. And then
did you attend regularly, or was it like you were still going to Protestant church, but like for major feast days or something, did you go to?
Exactly. Okay. And then the parish didn't meet all the time because we live in a small town. Exactly. It's a mission. Okay. So we live in a smaller town. So the priest comes in from the big city. So that was really helpful for us to do. I mean, as you know, like, so for me, I'm again, like, I have a wife and kids. I'm responsible for them. So we'd get our feet wet. We'd chat about it. We'd pray through it. We'd discern everything that was going on. And then by the time we've processed everything, liturgy would be up again and be like, okay, let's go. And then we were just all in. And so that being all in over a year, and then just meeting with the guys, my spiritual father, our catechist, the guy who's hopefully by God's grace, Lord willing, going to become the priest in the next 3 to 5 years. So we're super jazzed. So that's a bit of my story.
Parish, are you still at a mission parish now?
Yep. Yeah, that's all that there is for us right now.
Okay. I've talked to a few people like that, and like Marco from In Between Sundays, who's a Church of Christ guy. He was like on some business trip one time, and he was like, guys, the closest parish is like 2.5 hours. Like I was excited because I was going to travel for work, and I was like, I'm going to get to see a new parish. Like what's around here? Nobody knows me. Kind of jump in. Guys, James Rivera, stop trolling, dog. If mods in the chat, give James one chance. Otherwise, put him in timeout. I like PSA, you, James, like sometimes you're annoying.
Penal substitutionary atonement.
Yes. Hello, Father Ron. Yes, it's annoying. See, even everybody else in the chat thinks it's annoying. Do I have any other mods? Any mods here? I made 3 of them just for situations like this. Octavian, missed a fist. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna make Father Ron a mod. How about that? Hold on one sec. Yeah, Father Ron, I'm making you a mod. You're a man of the people.
Ban him. I've always wanted to say that.
Father Ron, you're a mod now. Put him in timeout. Mod Father Rod.
Mod Father.
Father Rod. Yeah. Oh, we got some super chats.
Oh, cool.
I got a new membership from MJ Sabi. Thank you for the membership, MJ. I have to bail, but I like Josh. Can we keep him, Alex? I think so. I think so. He seems like a pretty solid dude. So as long as he doesn't associate with those Latinizer. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
yeah, of course.
Father Stephen said to give them an opportunity to retreat, so I'm gonna do that. I don't have to hold them to that for their whole lives. So, okay, so now you're a catechumen. When were you received as a catechumen into the church?
Yeah, probably just over close to a year ago.
Okay.
And then for us, it's been a great process. So I get to meet up with the catechist pretty often, and then we take turns, my wife and I, going to the Wednesday night classes, just because we've got kids and they've got to go to sleep. And it's been lovely. It's been amazing. There's so many things. It's crazy to say. I'm sure you felt something similar, Alex. Like, I go and I had all these questions, these 3 massive looming questions. I chat with my catechist, and he just gave the most simple answers. And I was like, dude, this would have taken me a decade.
There's such an eloquence in that, for sure.
So it was just like, we kind of knew we were home.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to dox yourself or anything, but you said you do have a spiritual father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, let's go back to this set of facts that I was talking about. So
yeah.
Here's the controversial part, I guess. That although originally made out to be an adversarial debate, Ruslan has since clarified that it was not a debate. The term debate in the video title was just your run-of-the-mill vanilla clickbait for the YouTube algorithm, which I presume is something familiar to all of us and not in and of itself wrong or controversial. Ruslan now says that actually it was always meant to be a low-temperature dialogue and not a debate. And I guess I should also preface this saying that I've not seen the whole thing. We only saw that 12-minute clip. Of course, there's a lot more to it that will be available to the public next week. So maybe we can revisit that when that drops. But I guess for the time being, let's keep going through this. Ruslan has since changed the title of that original clip video to reflect the claimed non-adversarial nature of the onstage interaction. Now, here's the problem that I think a lot of people had in the comments, and not in particular with you, but perhaps with like Ruslan as an organizer and like periphery issues. But nonetheless, the seeming disparity in experience between 2 seasoned apologists on one hand and a catechumen on the other hand attracted harsh criticisms towards Ruslan, namely that he's trying to like nerf holy orthodoxy, and that he purposely sought out a catechumen so that Protestantism and Roman Catholicism would stand out as more viable options. As Jay Dyer pointed out in a recent stream, which at the time of me reading this, as far as I know, or typing this, was restricted to members of his channel only, that there are seasoned veteran Orthodox scholars and apologists in California that would have been on a more equal playing field with experienced apologists like Gavin and Trent. It's not throwing shade at you, Josh.
Oh, dude, none taken.
One example being Professor Perry Robinson, who, as I've said before, is like a nuke, and compared to me, it would make me something like a blueberry.
Yeah, just squish.
Yeah, it's like you can't really compare. Folks also have plenty of questions about the Orthodox catechumen, Joshua Nadeau. Who is he? Does he have a blessing from his spiritual father? How did Ruslan pitch this on-stage interaction to him? Was it pitched as an adversarial debate or as a friendly discussion? Did it appear to him as if he was misled in any way? And what does this mean for every other catechumen who is zealous for Orthodox apologists? So this has manifested on Twitter, and I'll share this a little bit here. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Okay, I think this is where the recent Twitter drama started here, where Jay tagged Ruslan. Basically, he had a bone to pick with Ruslan over this. He said, you pit a catechumen against Ortlund and a Roman Catholic? Seriously, dude? Basically of the mind that, you know, hey, these are seasoned apologists. And like, I think in our mind, Josh, it's not only like, I'm not trying to say that like there's a disappointment or maybe, but
no, dude,
everybody wants to see Jay and Gavin and Trent go at it like in person on stage and like hash these things out. But on the other hand, there's like, if you were not somebody who had formal theological training in the past and like took his time and actually like did the assigned readings, this could have been very bad. This could have been catastrophic. Yeah. Like from the clip that I saw, it seems like you held yourself just fine, right? But I think it's like the liability and like future possibilities for this that's like probably going through Jay's mind here. So Ruslan responds and he says, as I've explained to you via text, there was no against. It's an armchair discussion. We removed debate from any of the titles. Trent was a stand-in for Michael Knowles, who Michael Knowles is also a professional advocate. So I don't think that makes it any better.
I was more worried with Michael Knowles.
He's
charming. He's so charming, dude. Like I have to
Exactly.
deal with his intelligence and his charm.
Yeah, because he'll just be like, he'll priest up you and smile at the same time. So Trent was a stand-in for Michael Knowles. Josh was already speaking at the summit. We wanted to have representation of Eastern Orthodoxy, because if we hadn't, then we would have gotten complaints about not having someone Eastern Orthodox there, which in my lawyer mind, I'm thinking like, this is just speculation, Ruslan. Like, I think you're always going to have people commenting on your videos where people want their favorite apologist to be there. You can't have every single apologist there, right? So of course you're going to have some of that in every debate, but I don't think he was going to I don't think it was going to be as controversial. Again, no offense, by having you on.
Yeah, dude, I won't take any offense. My skin is very thick. It's also hilarious to be in the middle of a Twitter drama when I don't use Twitter.
You're not even on it.
Yeah, dude, I love it. So a couple people texted me, and I was like, dude, it feels nice.
You're like over here with like your lemonade and your kids at the park, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, my cigarette and just drawing pictures and reading, watching the kids, and then being like, oh, okay, everyone's freaking out.
Moving on.
Yeah.
He says, I thought Josh did amazing. There was no formal structure. Which no formal structure is not like comforting to me. I'd prefer there to be a formal, more of a formal structure. But you've had newer Protestants call into your show and invited folks on that aren't very versed in church history, which is like, Ruslan, are you serious, dude? Are you for real? Are you comparing an edutainment call-in show to like the official Ruslan Bless God Summit, an official conference where we're gonna have, you know, some of the cream of the crop there, Trent, Gavin, Joshua. And we're going to put them on the stage, and we're going to have them, you know, discuss their ideas like gentlemen on justification and what exactly that entails, right? I think that is a very non-analogous comparison, like not even close. I mean, and I guess you don't have to comment on that, but in my mind, that doesn't seem analogous at all. He says, Josh knew what we were discussing and the format and had the blessing of his spiritual father. I don't see what there is to complain about. Now, I think this is probably the most important thing, is that you had the blessing of your spiritual father. So in that respect, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. You have the blessing of your spiritual father. That said, there's like, you know, I get like Jay's gripe with this too, because he's been asking these people for debates for years.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched him ask.
Yeah. Then there was a funny, from a while ago, a tweet that started circulating around when I also got frustrated with like what appears to me to be some sort of like racket between some of like the biggest apologists up there, like Trent Horn, like Gavin Ortlund, where like I'll watch Trent Horn and Gavin Ortlund, you know, debate and hash things out, and I'm thinking like, dude, why isn't Trent going for a kill shot here? This could, like, he has Gavin, he has him. He should go for the kill shot, and he doesn't. And as a professional litigator, I'm thinking, like, is this fixed? Like, is there some, like, informal understanding that, like, look, we're going to go at it and discuss our views, but we're not going to, like, really try to go for the kill shot here? And do you have an opinion on that, Josh?
I mean, it's hard to say. I can't read their minds. Every once in a while, like, so Gavin really put the screws to Trent. And now, to be fair, like, that was my first time. So like I said, I've spoken because of the nature of what I do with the art. So I did the art for Ruslan's conference. I've done a bunch of art from before. That's how we connected. And then, like he said in his tweet, he asked me to speak. I gave a talk.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get into that. Let's like start from the beginning. So
yeah, let me take you back.
Before the conference at all happened, you were friends with Ruslan already.
Yeah, so I've done art for him. I forget how we initially connected. It was through Instagram, and then I did some art for merch and for some other stuff.
Have you worked on any of the prior Bless God summits?
Or is this the first one? I branded the last one.
Okay, so you have like a professional working relationship with him.
Yeah,
already.
Now, having said that, I've told him, like, hey, he knows my views on these things, and I was like, Ruslan, if things shake down, I'm gonna always tell the truth on stuff. So he's been a great, like, listen, I'm not sure about any online drama with how things go. That's not my domain. This isn't my world. I was chatting with my wife about things this afternoon, and I was like, one of the best things about just being a writer and an artist, storyteller kind of guy is I don't have to worry about all the drama that goes on for those things. So I don't comment on any of the things that Ruslan's into or a part of online. Meeting him as a guy, he's a great guy.
Yeah. So then he learned like that you're an Orthodox Christian, that you're a catechumen, that you're being received into the church. And then for this Blessed by God conference, he asked you to do a little more than just branding. He asked you to give a talk.
Yeah, so he asked to give a talk. So that was the initial thing I got clearance from my spiritual father from. So I said, hey, there's this conference. I did the branding. They're asking me to speak. I want to speak on just the Orthodox view of virtue. And it wasn't like, hey, I told a story and then I just gave some things. So the whole picture worked out great. And I'll be able to share all of it in a second.
Yeah.
Then Ruslan texts me a little while after and says, hey, there's an opportunity if you want. We're having like a dialogue on between Gavin, and it was Michael at the time. And if you're interested, just on why you're landing where you land. So why Gavin's Protestant, why Michael's or Trent is Catholic, and why you're going towards Orthodoxy.
Okay, and that was the initial prompt, and that was discussed prior to the conference.
Prior to the conference. So the initial prompt was my like 30-minute speech,
almost like a testimony, it seems like.
Yeah, so the idea was for this armchair discussion to be more testimonial. So there are two separate things. So day 2, I gave a 30-minute talk. Day 1 was this thing. So I was asked initially to do the talk on day 2. And then I asked Ruslan, I was like, dude, why me? Obviously the first thing, I'm like, listen, it's Gavin and it's Michael. Like, I'll say yes, because why not? If I get the blessing, like, listen. And I think he asked some people. Now, I don't know who he asked in particular.
Yeah, it seems like he didn't ask me, and that's fine. I'm not like offended or anything. I haven't even had my channel for a year yet, but some people have asked. So like, just if you're curious, he did not. And from what I understand, he did not ask Jay either, as far as I know.
That would be my guess. My guess is
Ruslan hasn't told me, so I don't know.
My guess is there's a handful of people that weren't asked. And my intuition or my guess or whatever, the way I piece it together was, if you're going for like a cordial armchair discussion, and I told him, I'm like, listen, I have to say, just because I'm sharing a stage doesn't mean I agree. It's not something that's going on. I just want to be able to share where I'm coming from. So if you're going to do a dialogue, I'm still free to say, like, listen, I think this is what's right, and this is where I'm going. I'm a catechumen, so if there's anything wrong, it's my fault, not the church's fault.
So prior to the conference, zooming out again, prior to the conference, you had agreed to these 2 discussions, the 30-minute talk on virtue, like Orthodox virtue, the Orthodox view of virtue, and this armchair discussion, which was supposed to be testimonial.
Primarily testimonial.
Primarily, yes.
Yeah, and then
maybe some engagement, some back and forth, maybe.
Yeah, just like, because then you can kind of push each other a little bit, kind of just like a bunch of guys around, like having beers, having chats.
Yeah.
And then I kind of think it changed a few days before, just to be like, hey, what if we made the topic of justification the main thing? And I was okay with that. I double checked with my spiritual father, and they gave me great wisdom. They told me that,
if you don't mind me asking, don't feel obligated to, if it's like private or something. What did he tell you?
They just said less is more. They just said, Josh, do your best, say you're a catechumen. So again, say if there's any mistakes, that's your fault. It's not the church's fault. That they can always, if there's something you don't know, say, hey, I don't know, but you can look this up. There are people that you can look to, and they gave me examples of people to reach out to. And so they just said, honestly, even a fool is thought wise if he keeps his mouth shut. Proverbs. And so there's tons of times during the dialogue, and you guys will be able to see the rest of it come Monday, when in my mind things are happening where I'm like, Gavin, you're begging the question, or Trent, like, you're gish galloping, you're just dogpiling a bunch of and in my mind I'm like, my spiritual father said, Josh, less is more. And the power of it was, whenever I got a chance to speak, obviously Gavin and Trent are going to go at it. The home turf for Protestants, most Protestants don't know anything about Eastern Orthodox. There is a digital world that knows a ton. but like the normie people who are going to like non-denom mega church, they have no clue.
You're spot on. Yes.
And so Gavin and Trent were going at it, and every once in a while I just got to say a few things, crack a few jokes, which I think is also very good from like a rhetoric perspective. But the payoff was enormous, because after that chat, the 2 hours or an hour and 45 minutes, however long the armchair dialogue was, I had tons of great conversations with people who've never heard about theosis or union with Christ, never thought about anthropology affecting our view of the fall, affecting our view of soteriology, just all of these things. So tons of conversations, and because they were going back and forth so intensely, and I only got to say like these fortune cookie, very on the nose phrases, people were, I think, were really interested in Orthodoxy, and so they all stuck around for my breakout session. So on Orthodox Virtue, I probably had a room of 500 people, and then just very introductory Orthodox Virtue, and tons of people, just emotional. Tons of people being like, I've never conceived of virtue and theosis and union and divine participation. Like, where's this been my whole life? I'm like, just east. Like, you just go east and it's all there. And so I knew doing it that there's going to be a digital world that was going to be like, hey, how come Josh isn't argumentative? And I asked myself the same thing. There's tons of times I could have dunked on them, right? Like, I do think personally, I think there's like a lot of logical fallacies that happened. You'll see the talk and you'll pick up on them. There's a lot of goalpost shifting.
And then the camera will pan to Josh and he'll be like,
yeah, it'll just be me being like, oh, okay, keep my mouth shut. And there's times, by God's grace, I was about to say something and they jump over me. And I was like, dude, good. Thank you, Lord. Like, thank you that them be like allowed me to obey my spiritual father. So the payoff in the real world was like, and I'm not kidding you, I spent probably 6 hours on day 2 and 3 chatting with people about Orthodoxy, like nonstop. I went back to my room. I have like I smoke cigars and stuff. So I went back to my room, grabbed my pack of smokes, and then went down to the beach and just had to unwind. And it was a big burden because there's tons of people who had never thought about any of the stuff, and they're processing Orthodoxy, and they're saying like, Josh, I'm going to lose my church. Everyone's going to, whatever, what do I do?
It's an enormous social cost.
It's a huge social cost. And you just have to tell them like, listen, saying it's like what we just went through with Great Lent. You say no for a greater yes. And it's really hard. It's hard as hell, because you got to get all the hell out of you that wants to say yes to something that's easy and no to something that's capital G, good and true and beautiful. And so the real life of the conference was amazing for Orthodoxy. I mean, as good as I could do as someone who's not an apologist and who is an artist and a writer, has a different calling, Alex, than you. It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah. Justin Menard, Christ is risen. Truly, he is risen.
He is risen.
That's right. Ben, Cleave to Antiquity. What's up, Ben? Ben says, I like this guy. Well, maybe you can have him on too. Maybe
I like you too,
when you
Ben.
have an opening. He watches both of us, Ben. And I presume you also watch Justin, right? Right.
I watch you guys. I'm always, whenever I'm drawn, I'm listening to something.
Yeah. Yeah, $5 from Newman. Who kept this from me? Where has this been? Very relatable. Can you elaborate? P.S. I hope the community didn't offend you. We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Josh.
Yeah, it didn't offend me at all. Like, so I don't mind saying this.
Am I a little jealous? I'm a little jealous, but
yeah. So I mean, this is actually something that I'm chatting with my spiritual father about, and then the priest to be. I don't know what to call him. I don't know the language for that, priest in training, or I don't know what the language is, but to say, listen, because of the nature of my art and my writing and the domain that God has called me to, it offers me different opportunities. And so they're working with me, and they're guiding me in how to take these open doors and say, Josh, like, listen, do you have a theological background? All I do is read this stuff. Like, I read about Orthodoxy all the time, but I'm not an apologist. I'm not clergy. So there's not an authoritative way that I want or can speak. And so they're seeing a lot of the things that I can do as being very invitational into the church, helping a lot of people who are Protestant or who are on the outside begin to ask questions, or even people who are, looking for something deeper. And then me being like a popularizer, like a gateway, a throughway into the depth of the church. And it's the same thing that you guys are doing as online apologists, just in a different domain. You're doing it in the domain of theology and truth and apologetics and defense of the truths of our faith. Yeah, so none of you guys offended me at all. I was like, listen, it would be the same. Now, listen, I'm not an iconographer, but I'm just an artist. So it would be like, you can't get upset at an iconographer for not having all the theological chops of very trained seminarians who are priests who defend the faith that way. And so I just have a different calling. So none of you guys offended me, got super thick skin. As far as elaborating on the who kept this from me, where has this been? I think there's just a huge ignorance to Eastern Orthodoxy in the West. So on my mom's side, my grandma
people just don't know.
Seriously, so my grandpa on my mom's side, his father was Russian Orthodox, and then he stopped and became Catholic when they moved to Peru. They left because of all the things going on in the 19th century in Europe. And so they left. And when he went to Peru, he just was like a normie kind of Catholic. And my mom was born and raised Catholic. And then when we told them that my wife and I, that we're converting to Orthodoxy, they didn't know how to deal with it. And I told my mom, it's your fault. You got me to read Dostoevsky when I was 18. I read Brothers Karamazov, and it was one thing led to another. And then it's my heritage. And even though it was my heritage, and even though at 18 I'd read Brothers K, I had no clue about Orthodoxy. And then as soon as I found it, I had to Google, what is Orthodoxy? Who do I read? What do I read next?
Yeah, where do I go? It's
totally
direct me. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, thanks for the $5, new man. Appreciate that. $10 from Green Emperor. Thank you. There's an amazing justification article by the scholar Matthew Thomas on the St. Andrew Encyclopedia. Explains in easy terms the church fathers did not believe in sola fide. Lots of good data from it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the tip. $5 from Michael Sherman. This is how we win. Intellectual arguments are not first-order issues. They're downstream of humility and theosis. As a former debater, well done, Josh. Oh yeah, humility and passion and zeal, all of these things. It's not just you have to be quiet and let yourself be walked all over and some soft spoken. You don't have to be that way. But I agree that if I'm tempted to talk about certain apologists, but then the implication is that their heart is not right with God or something. But you can tell when people are not actually living, people have a sense for that. We talk about that when it comes to just persuasion in court in general, especially in jury trials. Is look, if there is even 1% of you that doesn't believe what you're saying, everybody will be able to tell.
Totally.
So you have to believe it first. So I agree. Thank you for the donation, Michael. You have any thoughts on that, Josh?
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Michael. All the charges for humility were coming from my spiritual father. That when they say less is more, I'm a yapper, and so keeping my mouth shut, I've just proved Proverbs right. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps his mouth shut. And so people came up to me after, they're like, "Man, you'd say something that was so wise." And in my mind, I'm like, "Thank you, Lord." I just kept my mouth shut. But I do agree. I think that there's these two things that are going on culturally. And I think you guys, the apologists, are at the forefront of one of the things that is going on, which there is an enormous cultural battle being fought online that is solely around truth and theology and defense of the faith. And then there is this desire for people to find the lived. So for me, it was icons in the lives of the saints that I was powerless against them. The first icon I saw, I have so many stories about icons, but I remember the first icon I saw.
Guys, I love that explanation. I'm an artist. I saw the icons and I was powerless.
Oh, dude, you just, yeah. everything I felt in me, then going
Makes me
to
think
read,
of like Daniel chapter 10, where he sees the angel and he just falls, and
yeah.
the angel has to touch him to strengthen him to get back up. Yeah.
So when I read Vladimir Lossky's stuff on icons, because I just fell so in love with them, and so I'm reading Lossky and everything he's saying. And this is the first time I've ever read about icons, about windows into like the capital D,
Portals,
capital R,
yes.
yeah, portals into true reality.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how I felt. I felt like I was seeing everything. So Lewis in the Space Trilogy, when Ransom is flying to Venus or whatever it is, the first one, or to the moon or Mars, I forget where it is, the first planet he goes to. He's flying through space and he's like, why do we change it from the heavens to space? The heavens are full of glory. And I remember seeing an icon for the first time being like, I feel like I'm seeing all the reality that my world is supposed to be. And I didn't know the language. And then I go read Lossky and I was like, oh, the Orthodox know exactly what they're doing. They're just not like esoteric mystics. They know that they are painting portals so we can see the world more clearly. And then, I mean, how could I go back as an artist who loves symbolism and invitational art? How could I leave the tradition that produced the most real art I've ever seen in my life?
Right. Got another membership from Grogons. Thank you, Grogons. Cool dude, $5. Thoughts on Jay being a little mean on the internet occasionally? The most pressing issue of our age, according to Trent Horn. Look, Jesus used harsh language. There was one time I was talking about this, and Trent Horn responded to me on X, and I was like, oh, that was a big mistake, because next to you, I'm a very small channel.
Yeah.
But I looked up an article from literally his employer, catholicanswers.com, and it talks about how even at the Syrophoenician woman, or the Canaanite woman, when it says he called her a dog, that was actually a racial slur. It would be something of the equivalent of calling someone like the N-word today. So to prove a point, even God will use strong language sometimes. You see it throughout Lamentations and Jeremiah, like Ezekiel. Yes. So, Josh, thoughts on Jay Dyer being a little mean on the internet occasionally?
So
which is the biggest problem ever.
Yeah, I mean, I heard of Jay years ago because, like, my hobby, I think every person who's in the academy has like their side intellectual hobby that they're all into. And so for me, it was conspiracy stuff. So I heard of Jay through conspiracy stuff. And then he did a video making fun of Paul Washer years ago. And I was like, dude, who is this guy? So
arrest that man.
Yeah.
His impression is so funny, dude.
His impression was so good.
Arrest that man. Escort that man.
It was awesome. And so then I was like, who is this guy? This is hilarious. And he was going through some of his philosophical things on Orthodoxy. And I started listening to Jay maybe 7 years ago when he was going through a lot of that stuff. And it was amazing for me. So I think it's very obvious if you know Jay or paid attention to any of his content, he's doing it for jokes. He loves having fun. He loves playing with people. And then there's times where, like, listen, in the Catholic Church, so Chesterton, I love Chesterton. I read a lot of Chesterton, and he just talks about all the paradoxes of our faith. Where he's an
excellent writer too, by the way. As somebody also who writes for a living, I can appreciate, like, because it's not just brevity. Like, legal writing is pretty mechanical in that way, where it's like it's got to be simple, short, to the point, punchy. Use German words with German roots, not with Latin roots, is then they get all fancy and it's like distracts people. But G.K. Chesterton, I think, has a great balance between having the brevity and the punchiness, but then having those like very flowy sections too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
The appropriate times. Yeah.
He turns your ears into eyes kind of thing. But he just had this thing. There's the paradox in our faith where you can have the martyr and the crusader. This is from his Catholic perspective, and you can have both at the same time. And so, like, I mean, people are so. Listen, I don't know everything Jay said, so like I'm not whole cloth being like, hey, everything I give my stamp of approval. Who cares what I think? Jade won't. Why would Jay care what I think? We've never met each other. We've sent a few DMs, but I think most of the time, whenever he gets passionate, he's trying to defend the faith. And listen, like, he debates people who say horrible things about our faith, and horrible things to him and his family. Like, I've listened to some call-ins where people have said horrible things.
Yeah,
and so like. I also there's this weird thing. Maybe you guys have seen it. You guys have definitely seen it more than me. There's a very weird thing where like Christians are calling out other people that they've never met for like their ethics, like for their behavior. And so Trent aside, him calling out Jay and Andrew, for example, but like it happens everywhere. And my response has always been, people get mad at me for drinking or cussing or smoking or whatever it is. And I'll be like,
oh, where are my pearls? I need to clutch them.
yes, yeah, I need to squeeze them
I need
hard.
to go
I also
find
need
them.
to bring them to my spiritual father. And if he's like, Josh, pump the brakes. Okay, fine. If some guy I've never met or debated online says, I don't really like it when you do that, be like, okay, what authority do you have over me? I've submitted myself to the church and my spiritual father. You're not my dad.
It's basically
my dad could beat up your dad, dude.
That's basically, there's like, I have people even criticizing me that like, Alex, you were not gracious in this debate with Yossi. I was like, dude, you're not my dad. You're not.
Yeah.
I have a spiritual dad already. He's not you. Stop trying to usurp his role. Like that job is already occupied. It's already taken.
To ask you a question,
yeah,
like, because there's obviously a different form of communication when you're doing apologetics and you're using rhetoric, right? Like, do you guys just bump into people and be like, do you not know this? Like, I don't walk to the bar or go to the coffee shop or talk to my wife the way I talk, like the way I debate.
Yes. People do not understand this. I've done streams on trying to help people to understand this, that like, look, from my style of debating, it's all advocacy, right? Like I get Jay has more of like a philosophical school to him where like he's going to push certain like chains, like logic chains.
Of course.
It's like what Jay works on. For me, it's like narrative building up to like a certain point that I'm trying to make. That's kind of how I think of it.
That's very lawyerly.
But what's that?
That's very lawyerly.
I mean,
yeah, build the narrative, dude.
Yeah, it's all about the narrative, right? And there's a saying in litigation that says it's not the lawyer that has the law on his side, it's not the lawyer that has the facts on his side, it's the one that can tell a better story that wins.
Yeah. And so to that point, actually, I'm not going to pump myself up too much, but the writing and art that I do is trying to tell the story of orthodoxy and to make it as palpable and invitational for people as possible. And so I totally recognize that there's a kind of evangelism or apologetics I'm doing. My thing is like using beauty as an apologetic. Our beauty beats every other beauty. Our stories beat every other story. My wife just read, I gave her The Way of the Pilgrim, but she read, I'm going to forget. It's about Elder Paisios, the gurus, do you know the book?
I'm not familiar with it. No, chat.
Hopefully the chat will know. She said she's reading it and she's like, this is better than TV. I'm reading stories of people. Hopefully the chat will know.
Yeah. Do you know this St. Paisios book he's talking about the gurus?
The Gurus, the Young Man, and Elder Paisios is the book.
Yeah, like it said. Yeah, the Gurus, the Young Man, and the Elder Paisios.
Yeah, so great book. But she just fell in love with it. She couldn't put it down. And it's just better stories.
Yeah, I gave my wife God Wears the Wound by Mother Siluana Vlad. That one, like there are some gems out there that we shouldn't really overlook. I mean, FPV for $5. The Holy Spirit kept the church for 2,000 years. Every big controversy is personal when so many lost spouses, jobs, social credit for the truth. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's how you can be sure that our motivations as apologists is pure. I lost a lot. I'm not trying to make it a pity party for me now, but like, Jay also has lost a lot. And let me just say something about Jay. For all you guys that want to talk smack about him, first of all, before I ever knew him at all, I just like started posting videos that I wanted to see myself on certain topics, so that like when somebody's like, Alex, here's a Gavin Ortlund video, I can send them back another video that says that doesn't make sense here, right? It was like a very practical reason why I started making videos. And Jay gave me a shout out when I broke down that debate he had with Tim Gordon, and he never asked me for anything. And to this very day, I've been in group chats with him. We talked about, not once ever has Jay ever asked me for anything. He's never asked me to say anything. He's never asked me to put out a video on anything. Not once ever has he asked me for a single thing. Yet he still gives me shout outs on his platform. He talks about me on his YouTube channel. You know, there are people out there that charge for that. He has 200,000 subscribers. He's never charged me a single thing, never asked me for anything. In fact, he's only opened up opportunities for me. Like, there was some debate thing that came up and he's like, would you mind if I recommend you for this? Like, would you want me to do that? And I was like, yes, please.
That's awesome.
He's only ever given things to me, and he's I don't think I've, now that I think about it, it's probably bad. I've never given him anything. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
But like, he's a very generous guy, and I get like, maybe he rubs some people the wrong way, but I mean, it's because he's very passionate about what he believes, and he does actually live out the faith, contrary to other accusations.
He also lives in the academy, and I think it's a really important thing to say. So like, I read a lot of dissertations, or I'll read lots of stuff that's back and forth. I'm actually reading Father Stephen DeYoung's dissertation on 1 John right now. But the academy speaks frankly and harshly, and they use the academic language. Now Jay will add more flowery stuff to it that's like rhetorical, but part of the blunt and harshness is just like normal if you've ever been in the academy at all. So like, when I would write a paper and it was bad, my professor would be like, this sucks.
This is bad.
This is bad. And you just have to be able to take it. So when Jay's like, hey, your argument's stupid, he's not wrong. It is stupid.
It almost helps you in a way. Like,
exactly.
Maybe I should make a different argument then. Like, right? Like, it's only ever doing you a favor.
Totally.
$5 from S. Winters. Under the presupposition that unbelief itself is a sin, if Christ died for all the sins of all men, why do some not believe and come to Christ? Well, aren't all men resurrected? I think you have some presuppositions in your question, right? Christ died for all men that all may have life, right? I think 1 Corinthians 16 or 15. 15 is like the best verse on that. That because one man died, all may live. Now, how your experience of the bodily resurrection, what does that depend on? Tells us Revelation 20, right?
Bingo.
Your deeds. Now, I probably made some people very nervous now. Like, there's when Stuart Connectley was debating that Ethiopian, the Tuahito guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're making me very nervous, my friend, very nervous. This is getting close to works-based righteousness. And that those few seconds from that clip just live rent-free in my head. Whenever I talk about how like works are important and that they synergize and perfect your faith, just like, man, I'm making some people very nervous. Some people like Stuart Connectley getting very nervous right now. Yeah, S. Winters, good question, but I think you have a presupposition in there. Josh, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would. First off, to the Stuart, there's all these things. So coming from a Protestant background, hearing this initially would totally resonate. But then I remember watching things, and you realize as time goes on where your heart and where your mind is as things get brought to the surface. So even seeing that, being like, I'm on the Ethiopian side, and of course I am. And so I would just say, yeah, Alex, you're right. Obviously, everyone's resurrected, some to face the judgment and some to enter into full union. And I think, you know what, I don't know what S. Winters, obviously, his background is, but if he is coming from a Protestant background, one of the things that happens in a more Protestant domain is when you start talking about some of these things without the philosophical and theological underpinnings, you do have a speed run to universalism. It's just essentially what happens. So like, there are frameworks. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there are frameworks within evangelicalism and Protestantism that are logically consistent. Like, take Calvinism, it's logically consistent, but if you poke out the 2 or 3 presuppositions that they're making, the whole house falls down. And I think it's the same with this idea of universalism and unbelief as a sin and the sins of all men and the speed run to universalism. If you just poke one thing, you can end up at the truth. Orthodoxy.
Yeah. Spot on. Nikolai in Korea is in the chat. What's up, Nikolai? He's my friend. He says, Ruslan needs to realize how it looks. I think that's the thing. Like, I guess I have one more question about the timeline.
Yeah.
Brings it up. So So you agreed to the 2 talks.
Mhm.
There would be the presentation on Orthodox virtue, and then the sit down like fireside chat.
Mhm.
And when was that established?
The
Like how
talk would
many
have,
months or weeks prior
yeah,
to
the
the
talk would
conference?
have been like a month or 2 prior. The sit down fireside chat would have been a couple weeks out, and then getting the blessing from my spiritual father. Trent taking Michael's place was like a week out, because I think Michael had something at the White House, and then the discussion.
Well, I mean, he's gonna pick that over Bruce.
Oh yeah, are you sure you don't want to hang out with
For
me,
real?
Michael? I've smoked your cigars, dude. You owe me one. And then the shift, not a shift. I don't know what the right way of saying this is, but like it still was more. In some capacity, it shifted from saying like, "Hey, I didn't get to necessarily say it was beauty in the saints and the idea of theosis and participating in the divine life that won me over to orthodoxy." So the kind of theological bend that, to be fair, most Protestants are concerned about, that probably happened a few days out. And I was like, I just got the go ahead from my spiritual father. And he was like, yeah, Josh, now more than ever, less is more. And I was like, thumbs up. And I was like, hey, because it was one of the big ticket issues for me, trying to nail down justification. I felt very comfortable saying the few things that I did say, like, hey, you have initial union at baptism, ongoing synergistic union, final union. We don't use the same legal framework. Like one of the things that's crazy to me, I'm so sorry for ranting, Alex,
No,
but like
please.
one of the things that was crazy to me was I did ask, hey, I don't know if this was in the 12-minute clip. I didn't watch it because I really don't care. But where I tried to say like, hey, I know that the main area of disagreement is our anthropology. Like, sure, and like that is derived from our view of the Trinity. But it was crazy to me that they didn't want to have that conversation like around anthropology and why these things are so different. Especially
Well, because they don't want to talk about that.
well, because
they want to talk about what they want to talk
totally,
about.
it's literally the kill shot. It's literally like death was not made as penalty. Death is consequence for rejecting life.
Yeah.
And you could eat from the tree of life, which Christ died upon, and you could live forever. But you have to, and so like, of course, I know they don't want to, and I know Gavin has his reasons, and I know Trent has his reasons of natural graces and supernatural graces and the beatific vision. But that part to me got silly, and it was at that moment where I said to myself, Josh, don't be the guy that is gonna if the desire is for this to be cordial, armchair, and your spiritual father said less is more, be as winsome and invitational to the truth of orthodoxy, and don't be like just like a rabid dog on a bone, being like, please, let's go back to anthropology. Because I just from the outsider perspective, or the people there in the room, it would have been really bad. But I think Nikolai is very right. I think that there are two domains of how it looks. And I will say, in person, the vibe was way different than even what I'm gathering is going on online. And for people who are organizing this, and even for myself down the road, I'll probably have like a short list of people I'll text. I'll have my spiritual father, and then just be like, I'll probably text you, Alex, and be like, listen, dude, I got an opportunity to do something like this again.
You can text me anytime, bro.
Yeah, now that we're best buds.
You're my friend, man.
Can we just become best friends?
I mean, seems like it.
Yeah, so I think Nikolai's onto something where there's like a responsibility that's any event organizer has that I was not paying attention to, and I don't think it's my responsibility to pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, here's my concern, and probably other people's concern that they're watching too, is that like there was an agreement for something like a month or so out, weeks out from the date. It sounds like a day before there's a bit of a switch up. And again, nothing on you, because like for you have the approval of your spiritual father. You don't need anybody else's approval. But like, I think our expectation from Ruslan, and it's like, I'm not being overly critical. Don't take this in a way that you ban me from your show forever, Ruslan. I hope this is still in the cards, and that you can accept a little bit of criticism from time to time. That from our perspective, it does look as if like, this seems to have been like a bit of a quick switch up. And I think we would be willing to extend more grace if this was somebody that was new to this. But Ruslan is a big dog. Like, he is the big fish in the big pond. He's got an enormous YouTube channel. He's been doing this for like a long time. It's not his first Bless God Summit either. He is somebody who is very, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I mean this in like a very good way. He's very aware of public relations and appearances. Like, it's a gift from God that he has to like be aware of that, and to like, have one foot in the the art realm, another foot in the music realm, and like all those things that overlap, and then another a hand in the theology realm or whatever. But it does, there's, at the very least, maybe there was no impropriety and it was totally innocent. There is something of an appearance of impropriety from our side, especially there are going to be a lot of people looking at it critically.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. To Ruslan's like defense or whatever, the quote unquote switch up was less like a bait and switch, more instead of like, hey, we're going to talk about.
You're saying it was out of necessity because we got a new guy, Trent Horn, and like you're just kind of.
I think that's kind of why the shift happened. It'd be like, hey, why don't we kind of use this to talk about justification? Are you guys okay with that? And everyone was like, yeah, sure. Now whatever. I think. And now, again, to his credit as well, there are people I know he asked, and there's a couple of people he told me he asked. I mean, it's not my place to say. I don't want to gossip. Yeah. Because I don't know what those conversations look like, and
it's better not to say. He wants to say it, then he can say it. But
so I know there are people that he asked that didn't want to for whatever reason, and to be honest, fair. I understand that too. Right?
Can I ask you this? Were you surprised at the people who declined?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Where like he asked somebody and you're like, oh, that's a good pick, and they were like, they said they're not coming, and you were like, what?
Yeah, surprised maybe in the sense of you know what? Here's the thing I love about Orthodoxy is generally all of the big dogs, at least that I consume or Ruslan would know, they just have a charm that comes from their saintliness that is so, like I said, overpowering, that to me, it feels like a no-brainer. Now, listen, I'm a catechumen. So like, I don't know anything. So from like a purely business, a purely external, a purely rhetorical perspective, it feels like a no-brainer. Now, some of them might have been busy. Some of them might have had other reasons. I do know that Ruslan wasn't interested in hosting. He did have a debate between a guy and one of the LDS, and that was like the psycho, dude. That was crazy. The LDS crash out was insane to watch real time. But I think he wanted to have something that was kind of more cordial, because a lot of times in the digital space, I mean, stuff like this happens where it blows up really quick. And so in person at the conference, there was a kind of camaraderie is not the right word, a kind of politeness and kindness and genteelness and jokes.
Yeah, and you see it when somebody's right in front of your face, you're less likely to be like, you vile snake and you serpent, you dog, and then they're like 3 kids are in the front row,
Totally. And so like Trent was emailing me the other day, and I was emailing me stuff about, hey, answering Eastern Orthodox questions, and I was like, dude, I should just send you answering. So I got to make the joke, like, you guys are the first Protestants. We got to have the certain kind of back and forth that was kind, but all of that to say, so I don't want to put, I'm not trying to put Ruslan on blast, and I'm not trying to save face, but put Ruslan on blast in the sense of, I don't think there's anything sinister in his heart with what he was trying to do. I think he was actually trying to bolster up some conversation, and I just was the guy at the conference who could fit the bill, who has some theological chops, where he wouldn't catch heat from not having an Eastern Orthodox person present. Now, whether those are all his decisions, but I do know there are people that said no. And then I did have the blessing to say yes. So I don't know what navigating those things looks like, is all I'm trying to say.
The Ridge is calling you out. He says, yep, stick up for your employer, Josh.
Josh,
no. Is there a conflict of interest here, Josh?
No, not at all. I've said to Ruslan many times in text and in person, like, hey, I'm going east. And so just off the record, and Ruslan wouldn't mind me saying this, when I brought up the theological anthropology thing, he's like, I wish they would have took the bite, because that's the question I have. Ruslan is a great guy to work with and to do stuff for, but this is not me just like trying to save. I don't want to sound like a jackass. I don't need Ruslan's money to pay my bills.
Thank you.
And
That's what I was hoping you would say.
And to be honest, I have to give an account for my life before the good Lord. And so I really don't think that a one paycheck for a branding thing is going to be something I'm too pressed on. But I do want to make it fair, like in the sense of, I don't know what the digital back and forth is. And so I don't think Ruslan was at this trying to get at Eastern Orthodox in the sense of, now I understand how it looks. It does look like, hey, you have two big dogs and I'm a no-name.
Nikolai, Ruslan needs to realize how it looks.
Right? I'm a no-name. And this is not my domain. Apologetics is not my domain.
Yeah. Octavian says, Father Ron, I time people out for blasphemy and or disparaging the clergy. Yes. Father Ron, since you're a new mod in ground rules, you have wide discretion to moderate as you see fit. I will back you up. I trust you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be upset for you guys putting somebody in timeout. I'd rather the chat be enjoyable for the people there. Nikolai says, I hope Jay hops on to chat. I sent Jay the link. So if he wants to, he can. Cleve also has a link if he wants to jump on and ask questions. That's fine. So they have the link for that, and they're welcome at any time to jump in. Akiux says the only suspicion I still have is Latinizer or filioque. Oh, okay, Josh, I'm gonna call you out on this now. Now you're in big trouble. Yeah, I have evidence. I have evidence against you. This is the book that you wrote, right?
Yep. What did
now,
they say?
This is their objection.
Oh, do they have? Yeah. Okay.
So the brackets.
I can share light on this.
I see this as a gray area. He says, "And who proceeds from the Father and the Son is in brackets." So in my, this is my theorizing, and then you can give the actual real answer. Is that on one hand, you're not trying to exclude people from this book. On the other hand, you're putting it in brackets, acknowledging that this is an addition.
Yes. So there is a footnote. There should be a footnote. I'm opening the book. I have it. Footnote 1 on day 29. Let me just double check. I could have been more prepared. Yeah, I say this is the only real bit of controversy in the creed. It was a major part of the schism that happened between 1054 between East and West. The Orthodox and Roman Catholics. The controversy pertains to the phrase "in the Son" or filioque, and if it should be in the creed at all. I've opted for the version of the creed accepted by the ecumenical councils, less as I said, for consistency concerning the nature of this book. So there is a footnote. So my contract is signed. Okay, I can shed light on a bunch of stuff. I've signed book deals. I'm a writer professionally. So I have my first book is Room for Good Things to Run Wild. This is like a devotional book. And then my second book I just actually sent off to my spiritual father to give the thumbs of approval up. So there was obviously things that a Protestant publishing house is going to have issue with, and how I'm writing that book, which is a 40-day journey of transformation or whatever. They came up with the title through the Nicene Creed. One of them was the filioque. And I said, listen, the original has no "in the Son." There's a lot of controversy. I don't want to put it in. The art that I sent them didn't have it put in. That's post. Some things I have no control of. And so those are things for me to be mindful of down the road.
Wait, so that wasn't you?
So there's back and forth. Okay, so these are contractually, so I signed this contract before I was a catechumen. Because books take a very long process to come out. So there's other stuff where when I was writing about we believe in one holy Catholic Apostolic Church, the idea of Catholic one church that I have all these things on the church visible, and they're like, well, we believe in the invisible church. And I would write in the comments and emails back, no, we don't. You believe in invisible church. I believe in a visible church, the Orthodox Church. You should join the Orthodox Church. So I'm not a Latinizer. I do not hold to the filioque. I am a monarchical Trinitarian. The Father is the source of the Godhead. The Son is eternally begotten. The Spirit eternally proceeds. That was a huge part of my quote unquote conversion or discerning. Some of these things just happen. It's bureaucracy. It's I signed something and they have certain. I actually don't even know. I could send you the contract, Alex, and you could pick through it. But not that it's really that big of a deal.
So that wasn't you that put the filioque in there?
So it is not in, okay, so to that person's point, it is not in the book opens with oh, they did add it in the beginning. Dude.
That wasn't you.
No, I requested the filioque to be removed.
Wow. Okay.
That's hot ticket stuff.
That's like totally, completely exonerated. That's pretty crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't know. I was literally about to show you the page where, like, because I have a 2-page spread at the beginning of the creed, and I was going to read it to you, like the "and the Son" isn't there because I requested it not be used because I went from the perspective I want to go from the ecumenical councils. I wanted to say, it says it in the footnote, I'm not making by removing a theological claim because I didn't want to have the theological debate. I'm saying I want to keep it as close to what the ecumenical councils have agreed upon, which I know in and of itself is a theological claim. I know what I'm doing. I'm using rhetoric and trying to cover my bases.
Yeah, you're just saying I want to be accurate, which is
an
Orthodox answer.
Who would want to do that?
Theologically charged, right? Because they don't think that they are accurate all the time.
You know what? I can. I'm gonna double check. If you don't, I have my all the art that I did on my computer.
Yeah, go ahead. Nikolai says satisfactory answer.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Koki says Alex Orthodoxy. Orthodox lawyer does lawyering for orthodoxy. Well, I'm doing my best, trying to use my powers for good and not evil. Ronald says, okay, I'm won over. It sounds like that was a sad. Again, Nikolai says, good to hear, and that sucks that they didn't listen to you as the author.
So, Alex, so all I sent them, okay, so what I sent them so that day that you showed, if you can pull up the picture again.
Yes.
All I sent them was that lantern. So trying to capture, so if you go to the next one. Yeah, all I sent was the lantern. They added all the words to the screen. So they at least put it in brackets and kept the footnote, but I actually didn't know. I knew that part was in the book, and that did bother me, but the footnote is literally on that page. I didn't know that they added it in the beginning, and that caught me off guard. That bothers me a little bit because there's no footnote there.
It's good that we sorted it out and addressed it.
Yeah, so I'm not a Latinizer. Listen, yeah.
Alex Jaga's funny comment. He goes, Josh Ibn footnote. Leatherstrap says Gavin and Trent's anthropology is messed up because they both affirm theistic evolution. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so
wait, maybe I knew that. Maybe I didn't know that. I don't know.
That's a big thing. So when I was a Protestant, I was a theistic evolutionist, and because your exposure to young Earth creationism is Ken Ham, and so like then so my undergrad's in physics, my master's is in theology, and then studying physics, and then unraveling the quote unquote secrets of the universe from a scientific and mathematical perspective, and then realizing that there was space within Protestantism and Roman Catholicism to hold to a kind of theistic evolution, started to make a lot of sense. I mean, and I'll be totally honest, some of it just helps you be taken seriously as an intellectual. And then in conversion, I picked up Seraphim Rose's book. Yeah. And I'm slowly working through it. And I mean, it's still a difficult thing for me to process because, yeah, the book.
That's the book, guys.
Yeah, and you know what is actually pretty crazy to see is I've been realizing on debates now, people will try to catch Orthodox apologists or debaters or cultural commentators on this topic. They'll be like, oh yeah, well, you believe in a young earth, you believe the earth is X amount of years old, or blah blah blah, as if it's like some gotcha.
So I believe God made it.
Yeah, totally. So it is, yeah. But
Correct.
but formerly Leather Strap is right. Like their anthropology that gets messy for a million reasons.
Yeah.
The Protestant anthropology and the Roman Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. Second Actuality says, once you see how highly regarded evolution is and the consensus of the fathers, he does not, for those that are just listening, he does not say just highly regarded. You guys know what I'm saying. And the consensus of the fathers, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
That's it. Like once you take that leap and you're like, the church is trustworthy, like all that stuff like isn't really a big deal for me anymore. Or, like these objections that Gavin has to like the assumption of the Holy Theotokos, but there's no early documentary evidence. Like who cares?
Yeah,
the church is trustworthy.
Well, it's just such a modernist, like on it. One of the things that was crazy to me was just watching these modernist, naturalistic, rationalistic arguments be levied against the supernatural worldview that we all hold to, and people thinking that that's going to work. Yeah. And so to me, I was just like, listen, like when I watch like Descartes' view of the person, and I watch people start doing their theology from an I am, I think, therefore I am, I theologize, therefore I'm
There's
right.
There's already a presupposition there, yeah.
Oh, dude, it was wild. Once that unraveled in my mind, I was like, yo, dude, I know nothing. I'm 37. I know nothing. The church transcends me. I'll just say yes.
Yes. Guys, I just shared the link to call in the chat. If you guys want to talk to Josh, talk to me. If you guys want to grill him about the situation, respectfully, he is my guest, but he's also not made of glass. So he did make it out of there alive, Gavin and Trent. So
can I just say to that point, it's nice being on home turf. Like Gavin could have, anything Gavin said, everyone's cheering in the audience. And I've spoken at other places before that where like I wasn't the bad guy. And so the nice thing was they all were not going to like Trent. And Orthodoxy being some
for you, they didn't even know what you
were. They didn't know.
Say,
so anything I said, they're like, "Oh wow, I've never thought about like my whole life
considering it
about union." Oh, very interesting. But yeah, it was not. It's nice to be on home turf. So if you do call in, I'm a homie.
Great Scott 72, $5 says Christ is risen. Truly, he is risen.
He is risen.
Lowly Harold became a member. Thank you very much. Oh, dude, I've been cheating you guys with out of the sound effects.
Oh, yeah, I love that, man.
The complete, inspired, inerrant, infallible, indestructible Word of God, the 66th book, King James Bible, amen.
And this is to this one is for Trent and Gavin for not agreeing to a 3v1 debate against Dyer.
Oh man.
Thank you for the super chats, guys. There's also $5 from Alex Jag. Sam still barking like a dog after hiding from Jay's debate challenge behind Yossi and Dwong, but calls Jay a coward and not to hide behind Erhan and Petrus. We have papacy, guys. And also, why is he talking about Yossi? This is I made peace with Yossi. We're on good terms. I'm not trying to reopen anything or throw shade, but since January 2nd, have you heard a peep about papal minimalism anywhere? The answer to that is no. Leather Strap again. Gavin and Trent both have many videos on evolution. Oh, well, then I am ignorant on this. I think that has some big for Trent. There's a dogmatic problem because isn't there? I think there's an encyclical or something that's at the very least ordinary magisterium that says you cannot affirm Adam and Eve as archetypes. You have to affirm them as historical people. So that could be a problem for Trent, depending on what flavor of evolution he has. Dylan, $5. Thanks for the donation. Got to get Father Stephen to do the Age of the Earth. From my understanding, he's older than old Earth creationists, Also, want to know what he thinks about the pyramids. Father Stephen has done some deep thinking on these things. You guys haven't talked to him off camera. He is like, when I say that he's probably like among like arguably the smartest person I've ever met. I'd have to juggle between a few people there. Like, I'm not joking. Like, his knowledge, and it's not just like memorizing facts by rote. It's the synthesis of all those things as well. Like, he understands them, and he sees like how they like these ideas cross-pollinate each other. And yeah, he has some pretty insane but like cool takes on that. Maybe we can have like a conspiracy stream.
That'd be
with,
very fascinating, actually.
Father Stephen. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go to Leon and then FPV. Leon, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, Alex?
So far, so good, man. I made a new friend, so that's good.
Yeah, this is actually about a previous question I asked you.
Okay.
When you're streaming with Father Deacon Ananias.
Okay.
It was about Saint Barlam and Saint Josaphat.
Dude, I didn't look into that yet, man. I am sorry, dude. I remember exactly what you're talking about, but Josh, do you know about that?
I don't.
Yeah. Dude, I am very sorry. I knew your name was familiar. I was like, Leon, where did I see him before? Dude, next time I get on stream, I'm going to, hopefully on Friday, which is the old slot that I had with Josh, I'm going to get Father Peter. Before I say anything, first thing, I'm going to talk about Saints Barlam and Jehoshaphat.
All right, thank you very much. I have one more question,
yeah,
if I could ask. So, to my understanding,
why is Ruslan running?
That's also a great question.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, dude. My bad.
My question is like an Eastern Orthodoxy. To my understanding, there's one predominant like rite, which is the Byzantine rite. I know there's like Western rite, but that's more like a niche and like a smaller.
I mean, it's also like, from what I gather, like new. Like, I think they pull from Saint Ambrose for that, but it's more. It was even started just to be an evangelistic tool, and it doesn't seem that it's going to see any expansion, if anything. So there's like Rokor has Western Rite churches, and the Antiochian jurisdiction has Western Rite churches. Rokor, I understand, is not making any new ones or winding down. I think Rokor is winding down, and Antioch is not making any new ones.
Yeah, so that comes to like my point of my question. So it's like, to my understanding, the early church had a lot of different liturgical rites, where it's like Saint Ambrose in the Latin West would be performing a different liturgy than Saint Athanasius. And
I mean, the core would be the same, but yeah, there are like adjustments to the liturgy. Even like when you get if your bishop moves somewhere and you get a new bishop, or your diocese gets bifurcated or something and you get a new bishop, each bishop has like their own liturgical guidelines too, to where like they'll tailor this litany a little bit and we'll do this one a little longer. But yeah, the core of all the liturgies is the same.
Oh, so you would say that most of the liturgies would be very similar?
Have you read anything on this topic?
No, it's just something I've come across recently.
Williams and Anstall Orthodox worship. It's like plain English, not a lot of technical language. This is an easy one. And they talk about how the liturgy, like all the Christian liturgies, were taken from the Jewish worship, and in particular like synagogue worship. And there's this like core for Williams and Ansel. I think they break it down into like 6 parts. And that's like the core of each liturgy. And it doesn't matter which one, whether it's St. Basil or St. James or St. Mark or St. Ambrose or St. John Chrysostom, they're all going to have that core to it.
Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not that much of a difference.
Correct. The stuff that has to be there is there. And then on top of that, I guess if we could use a milkshake analogy, the ice cream is all there. Is the whipped cream and the fudge drizzle and the sprinkles, are they going to be different? Yes, all the time. But the ice cream is still the same. It's all still there.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless both of you.
Bet. Thanks for calling in. Good question. Josh, any thoughts on Western Rite or liturgies?
I mean, I have thoughts, but nothing I want to say publicly.
Fair enough. FPV, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Christ is risen, brother.
Truly, he's risen.
Yeah. So, one thing I was thinking about when you were talking about your experience of sitting next to Gavin and Trent, I was thinking about you being on the beach and the people that were interacting with you and how that must have been like really warm and kind of like a really positive experience. And then as soon as you come back into like the digital world, I mean, even they probably thought it was a little shocking, the people that you're interacting with. Is that?
Yeah, I've had a couple texts. I think it's a great point. And so there was like this real cordial, like you pick up vibes. You're having a conversation that's resonating with someone, or even it's resonating with you. God made us to respond physiologically. And so there's tons of great conversations. And so watching what's happened, being in the middle of like an online controversy to me is also funny. But watching it happen, one of the things that like my spiritual father has said to me before is like, Josh, like the digital world isn't real the same way obviously the real world is. Like we are made, we're embodied creations. And so I want to be careful how I say this. I have no shade for people who do stuff online. My calling, I feel, is to be online as little as possible. Like the generation of art and of writing requires an embodied connection to the created world and the human experience that the digital world removes me from. And so I would say, yeah, like being there in person, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I hope you guys don't feel like I'm gassing myself up. I had tons of amazing conversations with people, and I just did my best to be like, listen, there are great Orthodox resources out there. I gave them The Orthodox Way or Introducing Eastern Orthodoxy by Andrew Louth. Just tons of introductory books that helped me take the first step. And lots of people were very into it. And I've had a couple people being like, hey, did you know it was going to shake down like this online? And I thought to myself, yeah, of course I knew. Of course I knew. I'm not an idiot. So yeah, a bit of a disparity, but like I said, I have thick skin, and the real life interactions were really, I mean, it's always worth it.
Yeah, it just dawned on me that those, like, I can imagine being on the beach and having a conversation with, some young Chad, and you guys are just ripping at it. And it's kind of like imagining how they view it from their perspective, talking to you, and then you coming back into the limelight and the way that you did. I'm glad that you're on with Alex, because Alex is fantastic. I do have one more question, though.
Thank you.
If you
go ahead.
And I do love everything you do, Alex, and I really, really, really appreciate you a lot. I just want you to know that. But
bro, you're gonna make me blush. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, seriously, man.
Nice
like you have the way that you carry yourself is very professional. I was special ops for a long time, and I know professionals when I see them, and I think you do a great job. So I just really appreciate it, brother. But
thank you.
Yeah. So Josh, I would like to say that one thing I would like to extract from you from this experience, if I can learn something, is your interactions with all these people. What was the thing that kind of like drew them? If you're saying so many people kind of flooded to you in these charismatic circles with people that you don't know, that you don't have ties to, like what was the number one overarching theme that kind of drew, you and them together, I guess, in that way? Am I Batman? That's hilarious.
I was gonna say, obviously he is. He's that he did Spec Ops work and he's in the darkness. Obviously,
no, I'm a truck driver, so I get to listen a lot.
Vigilante. Nice. Yeah, it's a great question. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a great question. So there's a few things. Number one, doing the art for the conference, my art was everywhere, and so that drew a lot of people to me. And that's the other thing. Like beauty is an apologetic. I work really hard at my craft, and I get to tell people all the time. They're like, "What's some of your biggest inspirations?" And I say, "The Orthodox Church is my biggest inspiration." The other thing is like people just, I'm telling you, like the Protestant world, the Western world, you have people now who are like cherry picking ideas of theosis and plugging them into like their spiritual formation books, which is essentially like the subtle art of not giving a whatever, or Atomic Habits with a bit of like Jesus sprinkled on top. But I think doing my best to articulate how union with Christ and participating in the divine life is the core of what leads to our virtue, or our transformation, whatever, was a thing that people had not ever been exposed to. So when it comes out, you'll get to hear a few of the things I said, and hopefully people still think I'm okay. But I would say that I think there's two things. Number one would be because Gavin and Trent were going back and forth so much, and then I think it just was perceived that like when I spoke, it was just a different kind of communication, and then I got to say things they've never heard of, so it was just interesting to them and enticing to them. And then the conversations they would tell me some of their story. They would ask how to put some things together. I would say, do my best to give the Orthodox viewpoint on something. Or if I didn't know, I would say, listen, I don't know, but there's definitely places you can check. So hopefully that kind of answers the question.
Yeah, I just lost a lot coming to Orthodoxy, and it really wrecked my life. And I lost a lot of personal relationships. I lost people very close to me. And it's been a very lonely road, we'll say. And that's why I think that when I wrote the comment I wrote earlier, it was mostly to, I guess, in part upon the severity of the situation. When I see Alex debating, I'm like cheering him on because I feel almost personally tied to this in a lot of ways, if you guys can understand that. And it's really, it's been very difficult. So people like Jay and Alex, especially Father Stephen DeYoung, and even you, Josh, we're about to see that, you guys are, even in art, the argument from beauty, I personally appreciate it. So I'm not trying to like just throw flowers out there like a weirdo or whatever. I'm just being completely honest that this is like, I've lived a very rough life, and then I finally found beauty, and then it was gone, like all the other things left while I ended up getting this other thing. So it's like a huge trade-off. So for me personally, watching Ruslan kind of get a little spazzy on that last thing was really kind of like, it kind of angered me that he made a separate video just talking to us, not knowing that the people that I go to church with, my parish is in Birmingham. Those people are the only people getting homeless women off the street. So, you got to be a little bit careful when you're talking about loving people, because we really do the work,
Yes, that's right. The orthopraxy.
Thanks for sharing, man.
And
it's hard. You lose a lot. Like Jesus says the same thing, like, which of you hasn't lost father, mother, sons or brother for my name? And I think a lot of us in the modern world are starting to feel that in a different way. That's just my take. I think the counting the cost feels different than it did maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I keep going back to the martyrs, though. It's like, I think Father Ron just talked about, he said, thank Christ that we're able to suffer. It's like, I try to have that, and then I see a video like that, and it's like, oh man, come on, dude. Not today. Like, don't do that.
Not at this time. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass, Yeah.
But well, thanks for calling in, man. Those are really good, good comments. God bless.
God bless.
All right, we're going to go to, how much more time do you have left, Josh, by the way?
Probably a few minutes. I got to help put the kids down in a little bit.
Can you do like 20 more minutes?
Yeah, I can do 20.
Okay. We're going to do Arrow and then Harold. Arrow. Actually, hold on. Let me real quick do these super chats. Mahler is on stream right now. Mahler, what makes you think I care about what Mahler is doing? Mahler is on stream right now reviewing your recent stream, the one I did with Cassian. He's saying we are going against the Holy Spirit, apparently. He's free to think whatever he wants to.
Yeah. My youngest is called Cassian, so
Base.
I love that stream you guys did. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, obviously, because it was 1,000,000 hours long. But
it's like all of them. I don't think you're going to get trapped here tonight. So.
yeah, I can.
Yeah, thanks for the $5, Kirk G, and then $10 from Brandon May. Thank you very much, Brandon. Totally unrelated, Alex. What are your thoughts on Blind Guardian? They're a great band. God bless both of you for your work on expanding orthodoxy. I mean, that's the goal, right? You know, I pay really close attention to the language that people use sometimes in the online space. You know, if I ever hear anything about people are talking about like my vision, it's like build a platform, and I'm just like, wrong. No, no, it's not. It ought not to be. Or like my vision is to have this like community. It's like, no, it's not. Your vision is to spread holy orthodoxy, and that's like the beginning and the end of it, right? But on Blind Guardian, yeah, Nightfall and Middle Earth is like, that's pretty dope album. But yes, Arrow. All right, thanks for the super chats, guys. Arrow, what's on your mind, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
So far, so good, man.
So good.
Great. I want to say, Josh, like, honestly, I hope there was nobody that trolled you or anything like that, because me personally, I don't have a problem with you doing it. I'm sorry if you hear that background. We have people drag racing outside, so I'm sorry if you hear that. But before I get to what I want to say really quick, because I know you're pressed for time, but the first thing, I don't have a problem with you doing it, and nobody Orthodox should be mad at you. The problem is on Twitter, somebody exposed, I don't know if you guys went through this already, but somebody quote unquote exposed Gavin because his reason to not debate Alex was, because he's not credentialed.
Dude, Nixie, I'm so glad that Nixie brought that up, by the way, because Gavin, like, blatant credentialism. Like, he admitted, like, why are you confessing? Like, what are you doing? I didn't even press you on this. And he's like, I try to hold on.
Can you show? I'd be interested to see that. Oh, the glasses.
I try to focus on theological credentials. Wait, hold on. Let me. I'll show you that.
Arrow, thanks, by the way. No one trolled me. People, to be honest, I said to my wife, because people are like, oh, you're catching strays. They'd be like, a lot of the comments were like, I love Josh, love his art. Why him? And to be honest, of course.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It was like nothing against him, because I'm a catechumen, right? So catechumens can't fight, duh, right? But it's like, bro, your main argument was he's not credentialed, and then you talk to a catechumen, and one of the comments I put was, he could have easily said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll talk to Trent. I have no problem talking to Trent, but he's not credentialed. You could have easily said that, and there would have been no issues. But and then they wonder why people say you guys are backing away from the Orthodox. You wonder why people say that. It looks weird. It just does. And I was going to talk about Trent too, but I'll let Alex do this first.
Yeah, so this is the one that Nick shared. Nick said, responding to Ruslan, he goes, responding to Jay says, he challenges all three of them to a debate, which is like, Jay is like reaching, I don't know if he has the final form, but whatever.
Dude, he's ascending.
He's just ascending, dude.
He's debate maxing right now.
He's debate maxing. And Ruslan says, you want me to set up a formal debate with Trent after you've repeatedly crashed out on him? Jay, are you okay? Folks don't want to sit with you for obvious reasons. Boo. You can't be this incapable of understanding why. Boo is my sentiment to that. Nick responds and he says, no one is crashing out. You got caught, and Gavin got caught lying, since he has publicly said that he would only want to have dialogues or debates with people who have theological or ministerial credential, which is when I started tagging everybody. I said, literally no Protestants will debate the Orthodox running list, Bible and context, need God, canon, and creed, Gavin and Ortlund. And I added these two goobers to the list. And I tagged Messenger of Truth, who doesn't actually do debates. So that's how you know there's an apologist who's actually a grifter. It's like, how are you going to be an apologist and not do debates? I don't know. That seems counterintuitive to me. But Gavin responded to this, and he big dogged me with his bigger audience. And he said, I have done many debates and dialogues with Orthodox Christians, which is not true. He has done one debate, not plural debates.
Who did he debate? Oh, Father Stephen DeYoung on social.
It wasn't even a debate. It was a conversation.
That was a dialogue.
Yeah.
He did one debate with, I forgot his name. I think he's a priest, but he's got a very small channel. But he did one debate, I think a few years ago, and that's it. He did one formal debate. That's it. Not plural debates. He's done many dialogues, but I mean, come on. Yes, but I find it best to focus on those who have theological credentials, which actually I think Josh meets that criteria. He does have the MTS.
Yeah, I do,
degree.
but I mean, like I have it in
Baptist
Reformed
theology.
Baptist seminary. And so, like, to be fair, being in the academy, I read academic Eastern Orthodox books, but I'm not credentialed in the East.
So Josh agrees with us. Gavin says either ministerial or academic or both, and public comments trying to pressure others into debates don't affect how I choose those conversations. Well, I mean, it affected who you tweet to and what you say, clearly,
Well,
and enough to clarify yourself. So, yeah.
Can I say, as an outsider to like the Twitter sphere and the things
Yeah.
that go on, this stuff is fascinating to me. Like, because what's crazy is like, so someone sending a picture of my book a day after something goes live, like people are, I'm very thankful. I'm glad that
the hive mind is activated.
Yeah, totally. I remember like when, I don't know if you guys remember this, when like Shia LaBeouf was doing all the stuff like against Trump, and on 4chan, they like triangulated the flag because of the flight patterns.
Yes. Yeah.
This feels like this but for theology and for orthodoxy.
Dude,
like
we take this seriously.
Yeah, I love this. Is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Twitter, man. Dude.
Yeah, and in the very last
thing, as a lawyer, I see Twitter as like I'm gathering evidence. I have I have public statements from people. Like, nobody made Gavin say that. Gavin said that of his own free will. He had the time to type it out and write it and word it the way that he saw fit. And after he posted it, he had 1 hour to edit it if he didn't think it was properly written. Right? That's
nobody put
evidence.
a gun to his head. Yeah,
it's evidence. Yeah.
But yeah, one last thing I was going to speak on Trent. And it's the same thing with Trent. And Jay pointed this out. He did a debate with James White recently, and then he did another debate with I don't remember his name, but he does Carm, the
Matt Slick.
Yeah, Matt Slick, right? And we all know we've had bad histories with them, right?
The goblin, a demon, a boomer tard.
Exactly. But even worse, you did a debate with somebody who said that Trump supporters should be unalived, and that was Destiny. So Jay's bad. We don't want to.
There might be a distinction there too, where Trent would say, "Okay, fine, but Destiny is some like heathen pagan." And Jay is a Christian.
But there's no excuse for James White, because James White has literally gotten in trouble for he had an issue. I don't want to say it because it was
all right.
Yeah, but it was bad. I just know it was really bad, and it was a few years ago. It was really, really bad. And it was way worse than what anybody is in this sphere has done. And you did a debate with him after the fact, and you know he did it. So it's like, I don't understand where the excuses is coming from. And I think that's why people are really like, why did you get a catechumen? Because it's like, and the thing is, we didn't even want Jay. Like, it's not like everybody was just saying Jay. If you're in California,
have to be Jay. Father Stephen, Perry Robinson is like right there.
He's in Cali. Thank you. Like,
there's a lot of great guys out there. And I don't mind shooting myself in the foot. It's actually very interesting hearing some of these things that I have no clue of.
Yeah.
Because it must feel like people are just setting up ringers. Like, I'm the guy to take the fall, right?
Yes.
Josh is the ringer.
Yeah.
Josh everything on Trent. Josh
thinks that he's smarter than Perry. What is he doing up there?
Yeah, obviously not. And I wonder, okay, can I ask a question to you guys again? Like, I wonder if there's like this appetite. I want to be careful how I say this, because I can't read people's minds, and obviously we can't. I don't want to.
Right.
Do you think people are dodging, or do you think it is a do you think they're like just two worlds that are consuming, where there's like this physical world where people are going to be there, and maybe I'm gonna shoot myself down again, because there are people who could do the charm better than me. Not that I'm super charming or winsome, like, but if
I
don't want to have a debate.
Yeah. Are you saying that there are some people that might be more suited for the online realm, while there may be people more suited for the real world?
No. I think what I'm trying to say is, if Ruslan wanted to avoid having a debate, and say just have a dialogue, there would be people online who would probably still demand more back and forth or more interrogation. However, having said that, there are people who are way better than me who could have been invited or could have said yes or may have said no for whatever reason, who are going to be able to do much better than me. I'd be the first person to admit it. Obviously, I'm not top tier when it comes to these things.
No,
Now, I
like
don't
all
know.
this stuff is relative, right? Like, I think I did okay in my debate with Yossi, but like I said earlier, like Perry is a nuke. I am but a mere blueberry.
Totally.
So.
Can I say something real quick before, because I know
Yeah.
you're pressed for time. I just want to say this last thing, and then I'm gonna let you guys do what you do. So to answer that question, a really good thing that he could have done if he's in Cali and he's because the video said he was pressed to find somebody to fly out. What he could have done is he could have did a Twitter post. He could have said, "Is there anybody in Cali or close to Cali that would like to either drive here or you can take a quick little flight that's Orthodox, knows Orthodoxy? Is there anybody that's willing to do a discussion with Trent Horn or Gavin Ortlund and we can have a round table? Is there anybody interested in that?" He could have easily tweeted that, and then somebody could have answered. They could have denied, "No, I'm good," or "Yes, I would like to do it." And then they could see, "All right, what's your following like? Do you have credentials? Are you fit? Right? Do people hate you?"
These things are so complicated because I'm pretty sure Gavin blocked Perry Robinson on Twitter.
What? I didn't even. How did? What? Perry?
I'm pretty sure he did, dude. He probably corrected him and then made Gavin look bad. But I'm just speculating, guys. I'm not spreading rumors. It's just speculation. Let me qualify it now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did.
I just wanted to say that because it's like there's plenty of things I feel like you could have done the things necessary to get somebody out there like a Father Stephen or anything like that, but you just chose to go with the guy you had in your hand.
It was convenient.
Yeah, it was convenient. Thank you. It was convenient. It was easy, and let me just get him. And then he kept saying, "Oh, I think he did a good job for you guys." Well, you aren't
okay,
Orthodox.
but we don't care what he thinks about that.
Like, you're not
He's
Orthodox.
not Orthodox.
You're not Orthodox. So why are you telling us that? I don't understand. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But God bless, Josh.
God bless.
There's no problem with you doing that. We're not mad at you. We love you very much.
We all would have done
No,
it.
I don't, guys. Honestly, I feel nothing but love. It feels nice to like have something. Like
we
this
love
go
you,
on.
Josh. We love you.
Yeah, I'm on home turf. I'm just like, guys, listen. I was a pinch hit. You know, like when someone's like playing t-ball and like you just like you can't hit the home run. I was like, good work, dude. Good work. No, it feels good.
This in between Sundays declares that he is Mr. IBS. Duly noted. Stumbling along the way, says Blind Guardian for the win. Yeah, they're pretty solid. Val Orthodoxia, who, by the way, if you guys didn't see his recent post on Instagram, dude, I am just going to concede all the Orthodox wins on Instagram to Val. Like, I think maybe Cleve is starting to get into the space, but Val like has Orthodox. Dude, they are so funny. I'm like over here crying. He says Josh was a good dude. Christos anesti, Alex and Josh. Alithos anesti. Thank you.
Alithos anesti.
Raziel, Sam Shamoon tackling monarchical Trinitarianism. Apparently, it's a semi-Arianism doctrine. That's crazy. He's lost it. He's lost it. S. Winters. Then we're gonna go to Harold after this. S. Winters says, not coming from a Calvinist view, only curious how the will plus unbelief, if a sin, coexist for some. In light of the atonement, seems hard to reconcile. No, because your view of the will is off. This is Saint Maximus. You have the faculty of the will, right? As it's a faculty of nature, and then you have actually choosing. That Saint Maximus refers to as the gnomic will. Right? This is where like you don't just by nature employ your will to good, which is what you're supposed to do. Now you have to come up with reasons and deliberate. Like, what is good and what is bad? I don't know. Well, on this side, I have these reasons. On the other hand, I have these reasons. So you're really simplifying the will plus unbelief here. Like most things, I think it's more complicated than that. So again, I get you're saying you're not coming from a Calvinist view. There's still a presupposition there. You have to read his disputations with Pyrrhus.
With Pyrrhus, yeah. Really helpful for me. Disputations with Pyrrhus was enormously helpful for me.
Yeah. Thanks for the $5. Membership from FPV. Thank you. $2 from Val. Almasikam, Alex and Josh. Dude, my Arabic is not good, dude. Don't
Yeah.
even- Alex and Josh. Good to see Josh on. Yeah. Josh is cool. He also, let me real quick. His Instagram page, go follow him on Instagram. He's Sword and Pencil. Got a pretty big following there. Some cool artwork. Yeah. This was a pretty cool graphic.
Yeah, I wish I drew that, but I did not.
That one wasn't me.
Yeah, that one wasn't me.
Snakefoot's $5 says Gavin would absolutely own every debate with his feelings and modest claims. He's just making modest claims, guys. I really feel like it's a modest claim that the Bible is the only infallible rule. Well, I think that's an ambitious claim. I don't think that's a modest claim. And I'm just waiting for and Josh, in your practice of humility, as you were advised by your spiritual father, I imagine you probably didn't get into it, but I'm just waiting for somebody to grab his dumb Calvinist commitments by the collar and be like, stop talking about faith and trust. You believe in salvation by decree, and just nope, this is what you believe.
There's so on stage, like, just I wanted to be able to push on a few things. Like, I really did, because I grew up Reformed Baptist, and I think he left Presbyterianism and became Reformed Baptist.
Ooh, so he softened his views.
Yeah, but I think he's still pretty hard Calvinist. But there is a primarily judicial view of the cross, of the nature of sin. So death as penalty, cross as saving from penalty, and I wanted to press it. And in my mind, like I said, initially there was begging the question where he wanted to shift. So you guys will see the conversation. I remember a few things from it. Initially, when I want to talk about anthropology, he shifted to, how about we talk about how we feel after justification? I'm like, well, you're assuming your view of justification. And then he pilloried Trent on mortal sin, which was fair. Like, there's big questions with mortal sin and quote unquote justification. But there was a ton of times when it's easy to obfuscate. I'm not saying Gavin does this. I don't consume a lot of his content. I don't really watch any of his content. But it is easy to obfuscate. It was one of those things that I could do being a Reformed Baptist. Like, if it's my interpretation of Scripture.
They retreat into abstractions. Yeah.
And it's very easy. Abstractions and anecdotes. And it's very easy and natural.
You have to force them to make it concrete in a way.
Totally. And it was the armchair view, like you said, if it was more structured, it would be easy to force people into that, or at least paint out, here's what a concrete version of this belief would look like. We didn't really have the time for that.
Yeah. Okay. The Lowly Herald. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. What's on your mind, man? Thanks for calling.
Josh. Yeah, Josh, big fan.
Oh, thanks.
Bought 2 copies of your first book. Pre-ordered your Nicene Creed book. Got it. My wife's reading it right now. But I wanted to take the opportunity, hopefully not selfishly, but to just come on here and apologize to you, because when I saw the filioque in the book, I had judged you so hard in my heart, and I feel so foolish, and I'm just really sorry that I did that. So I wanted to take the opportunity to be able to tell you that. I hope that you can forgive me. I don't deserve it.
Oh, gladly forgiven, man. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I also wanted to have a little bit of a dialogue about ecumenism, and I'm not casting judgment on any individual, and I'm not being harsh.
I will. It depends on the individual, but I will.
I'm not intending to be harsh. But there's been some weird, in my view, some weird ecumenism that's rubbing me the wrong way. With like for example, like why are Orthodox people going to evangelical conferences? Why are Orthodox priests inviting evangelicals to their conferences? And one thing, because I'm not trying to apply canon law, I'm not even a priest, let alone a bishop, obviously. But like, there's those canons that speak about not even praying privately with heretics. And if I understand correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this one of the main spirits behind those canons is that we don't want to give a false sense of unity where there isn't, right? And so, most evangelicals who have never even heard Orthodox before, they'll say, oh, my Catholic and Orthodox brothers and sisters think this. Oh, my Catholic and Orthodox brothers and sisters don't think about PSA, but they're my Orthodox brothers and sisters. And we're just like, yeah, let's come on your show. Hey, let's come do this. Let's do this. And we're not expressing to them, like, hey, actually, hey, don't call me brother because you're not in the church. And not intending to be overly harsh, but I am trying to make the point. It's like, it just rubs me the wrong way. It makes me uncomfortable when I don't, when I see rubbing shoulders and I don't see enough of like just clear, direct verbiage.
I think in my mind, I think it's very clear how we define ecumenism. And if you tune in, hopefully on Friday, you're going to have the perfect person on here to talk about that. Father Peter Hears. This has become an area of interest for him, or I'm sorry, Father Dr. Peter Hears has become an area of interest for him. So I think that'd be a good question. But my understanding is that ecumenism talks about worship together with people that are not in the church. So if we go to like a conference and we give a talk, I don't think that would qualify under ecumenism proper, you know, as in the heresy of ecumenism. That said, I think you're right, because there's some stuff that has made people uncomfortable that have spoken up, like Gavin being at Father Josiah's wedding conference. That said, there's like a very there could be like a shrewd wisdom there as well. And like from what I gather, I don't know him personally, but from what I gather about Father Josiah, he seems peaceful as a dove and wise as a serpent, right? So at the same time, Gavin, a lot of evangelicals will show up there just for Gavin. And while they're there, they will probably also hear Father Josiah's talk, and for the first time ever, be exposed to Holy Orthodoxy. So there's a similar thing also that happened. I might get in trouble for this, but I'll keep it vague enough, hopefully. At one time, there was a priest who wanted to go to some funeral home party. It sounds weird, but funeral homes are always reaching out to churches because they want their business for funerals, right? So they always have these like dinner parties and stuff where they will invite local priests and pastors. And there was a certain Orthodox priest in that city who was like, wait, there are gonna be Roman Catholic priests there, there are gonna be Episcopalian people there, there are gonna be Pentecostal priests there. I don't want to go to that. That sounds ecumenist, which it's like, it's not. But you know, if we take it too far, then you end up there. And yeah, let's just call that guy the Serbian Orthodox priest. The Russian Orthodox priest ended up going, and it turns out that, you know, a lot of the people there were curious about Orthodoxy, because the priests tend to like hide themselves from, you know, making public appearances, and they asked a ton of questions, and he made a lot of connections. And now he can talk to more people about Holy Orthodoxy. So like, I see your concern. I think it is a valid one, and I think that's why Father Peter Hears has taken this up as an area of interest for him. At the same time, I don't see anything wrong with an Orthodox person going to Ruslan's conference to give a talk about Orthodox ideas. I think, like Josh said, for a lot of them in the real world, they have no idea what this stuff is. Like, they are clueless, like never heard of it before ever.
Yeah, like I was people's like first time hearing stuff like that. And so it was one of the questions I had for my spiritual father. He gave me some great wisdom just between me and him of, like Alex was saying, there's certain things you're not going to do. And I said, okay, there's certain things I'm not going to do. And I think the view, and this is, I'm just a catechumen and I'm going based on things that I've heard, is what's the best? I think I kind of want to use whatever, I want to be as wise as possible and use whatever platform and story, like God has brought me. So you've read my first book, and I was discerning the ancient church then. So there's a lot of Catholic stuff in that book because that was part of what brought me towards the East. My next book is just about becoming Eastern Orthodox. And I am starting to feel kind of like the weight, not in a bad sense, but the responsibility of spreading Holy Orthodoxy as best as I can. And the wisdom that I was given was, Josh, like you can be an invitational person in these places, and we will help you navigate those things. Now, having this conversation with you guys over the past 2 hours, there's going to be a few things I chat with them about, which is to say optics. Like there's just online optics now that is a different domain that I have been ignorant or careless of, or thought to myself, like, listen, I live in the it sounds so like I was not privy to most of these things that were going on, save a few texts. And so I do appreciate your concern. And my friend, if you shoot me a DM on Instagram, I'd love to be able to connect or chat more and hear some of your thoughts, and then I can bring some of those questions to my spiritual father as well.
Yeah, if you noticed, I don't call them brothers. If I do, it'll be something like, hello, my brother in Adam. Rixton, it's not technically, in the most technical sense, they're not necessarily my brother in Christ.
Dude, that's such a lawyer move.
Yeah, well, I picked it up from Justin from Transfigured Life. I don't know where he got it from, but it's like, hello, my brother in Adam, how are you? You know, like, or a friend, you know, my Protestant friends, right? Because you can be friendly with somebody and still think that they're not a Christian, right? And it's like, we're not trying to be mean. Our church has exclusivity claims. We're just trying to be consistent. That's all.
All right. Yeah. I won't take more of your time. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Dude, and thanks for the humility of apologizing. You didn't need to do that, but that was
it's like the most wholesome.
Oh, dude, I almost cried. God bless, man.
But can you do 2 more callers, Josh?
Yeah, I can do 2 more, and then I'll have to bump off.
Okay. Next up is Marilyn.
Hey, you, guys, I'm good. How are you?
You developed a bit of a reputation for yourself in the chat. What's going on?
Yeah, they're begging me to come up here. They always do that.
What are you gonna destroy us?
I'm in a lot of Orthodox chats. I am in a lot of Orthodox chats, but I'm not Orthodox. My uncle by marriage was a deacon in the Greek Orthodox Church. So when I was growing up, I've been to a lot of services and stuff.
That means you know everything about Holy Orthodoxy.
I understand that. I think it's a beautiful thing y'all got going on. If you know, everything was well and good, but it's not well and good. So I'm not.
What's not well and good? Why not? It's the one true church.
The world's not good. If y'all were the one true church, then the world would be good. Does that make sense?
No.
No, the ark saved you from the bad of the world.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It does.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Why does the whole world have to be perfect for Orthodoxy to be the true church? Are you Spicoli's daughter?
What?
Are you Spicoli's daughter?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
Larry Flint was my grandpa, though. The Hustler magazine guy.
Oh.
Anyways. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what they're talking about.
That's the only thing that's holding you back from becoming Orthodox?
Well, I think most people would have followed Satan out of, like Lucifer, out of heaven, because people seem to need a master. They don't need a friend and a lover. Whoa. And I just feel...
What's going on? I'm a bit confused. Is there lore I'm missing?
No.
Okay.
Are y'all reading chat? Don't read chat.
Has a reputation in the chat.
I just realized that I could click over on comments, and there's like 1,000 I've missed. So I'm not going over there, but I feel like I'm missing something.
Wait. Do you think you are God?
Yes, I think we're all God because of God. Everyone. I believe we always were and we always will be.
Where on earth did you get that idea from?
Well, Jesus called us gods. He said anyone who does God's will is my brother, sister, and mother. So it's
but not in that Mormon sense.
Idolatry to idolize words like that. We are all his favorite, and he leaves the 99 for the one lost. I don't feel like.
Well, then why does he make a distinction between like co-heirs with Christ and Christ as the firstborn and us as inheritors by grace?
Well, a co-heir is it's with. It's okay. Together.
Do you understand like the inheritance laws in the Old Testament, why there was a firstborn?
I'm not a Jew.
So you have, okay, but the Old Testament is still scripture too. And if you're a Christian, you still have to believe it. So you have Ishmael and you have Isaac, right? Who is the firstborn between Ishmael and Isaac?
Isaac. No, Ishmael. Hold on. It's Ishmael and then Isaac. It's
Ishmael biologically, but by right, it's Isaac who inherited the promise. This is Romans 8 and 9, right? So Isaac, as the one with the firstborn rights, he gets it's not like when Abraham dies, he leaves the will half to Ishmael, half to Isaac. No, the whole thing goes to the firstborn. The firstborn distributes it to everybody else. So when Paul is making this comparison that Christ is the firstborn of all creation, he's not saying that Christ is created or anything. He's saying that he has these rights wherein he reconciles human nature to God and deifies it, and he can distribute that amongst us as the firstborn. So there's a huge difference. It's not, when it says co-heirs, it's not saying that we're the same. It's saying that we're the recipients of something.
So do you feel a father's going to distribute to one child and give it to the rest, or is he going to treat all children equally because they're his children?
One child and give it to the rest.
Distributing power? Is he distributing power with children?
He gives it to Christ. It's because of Christ. Remember, one mediator between God and man.
But Jesus came. He literally came to tell us Father's business, that we are no longer called slave, but friend.
What?
Because a slave does not know his master's business. A slave does not know his master's business. We know Father's business. We have the mind of Christ. We are not.
That's not what that means.
We are not. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities and his divine nature have been clearly seen, so that we are without excuse. It's from what has been made. We are without excuse. I can't see a difference. I don't believe anyone is above God, but I don't believe anyone is below God either. We are friends of God, and none of your friends are above you, or you give more credence to.
I mean, that's not true.
Well, being Christ-like is treating others above ourselves and to others' interests above our own. Jesus didn't consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Seems like you want to.
I know you're quoting scripture. It's like, let her cook. These comments are unhinged. This is throwing me off. Like I've been in charismatic churches. Are you charismatic? Can I ask that? Do you go to a charismatic church?
I'm God. Because of God.
Crazy,
Stop
dude.
blaspheming.
Stop because of God. I'm God because of God's ability.
Stop blaspheming, though. Hold on. Okay, hold on, though. I think Father Ron makes a good point. Are you familiar with the Greek term monogenes?
I love Father Ron.
Are you familiar with the Greek term monogenes?
No.
Yeah, it's a Greek term that has two senses. In one sense, it means Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God. It's also a double entendre and also means uniquely begotten Son of God. One, uniquely
Sounds
begotten.
Pretty Jewy to me.
No, it's literally Greek. It's literally Greek. So I have 3 years of Greek. It's literally Greek. It's literally the opposite. There's no Jew nor
I would
Greek.
call
It's
that
literally
idolatry.
Paul's opposite. This is wild to me.
But Jesus died for us. He literally laid down his life. He found our worth was more important than his life. Like that's how much we mean to God. Is
he gave interpreting the cross.
The most important thing that means to him in our place. Like how much more do we mean to him if he gave Jesus to us to die? Like even when we were the worst of sinners, how much more do we mean to him?
Dude, these
comments are crazy right we're now. Revealed with Christ in glory.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn. However, I do want to be respectful of my guest's time here, and
I'll be back.
This is great. You can come back anytime, but I can't let Josh leave on that note. So, Orthodox Tony.
Oh man,
what's up, man?
That was a trip.
Hello.
Dude, Josh just like got on a spacecraft and went to
I was
Jupiter and came back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, gentlemen? Christ is risen, by the way. You know.
Truly, he's risen. I already feel better.
Yeah, that was. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with that, but that was
the first time.
That
That was
is
the
New
first
Age
time I've talked to
Christianity.
Marilyn.
Is
That
that like
what
Christ
you guys
consciousness kind of stuff?
yes, that's New
Yeah.
Age Christianity packed into a nutshell right there. I have people who are also inquiring Orthodoxy that are in relationships with people like that too. The whole we're all gods
Hold on.
things like that.
I thought that was just her unique thing. You're telling me there's a group of people and they all believe this?
Yes, that's New Age. That's New Age Christianity. That's what
The Christ
that is.
Guys,
That
I'm
is
learning
a
in real time.
packaged. That is a packaged Billy Carson salesman right there.
That's
The Christ
that's
consciousness
why I
that he
don't
was
know
pushing.
about it, because I don't care. Catherine
So
says
it's
yes. Henry says yes. Neo Christianity.
that is in
I don't like it.
100% indeed New Aged false Christianity that's going around where people are building and structuring their own religion, essentially going to the fruit aisle in the supermarket and grabbing one of each thing that they like and formulating their own Christianity.
That's wild. That's
That
wild.
is, and what's crazy is that can be in some ways, shape, or form accepted in a non-denominational church to an extent, as long as you profess Christ as the Lord.
Like, by
I mean, I've
definition.
totally bumped into people like that.
But I bet you never seen one in real time.
I mean, I
That-
have, but like, it's just really crazy to like.
I know
yeah,
Josh's
like,
a little
it-
older than me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 33, but that was my first time ever encountering someone like that. That's like,
Yeah,
know, man. That was crazy.
it can
That
be
was a
like,
trip.
yeah, that leads to a whole bunch of other things and a whole bunch of
Yeah.
other problems. But besides that, that I didn't get to see the conference. I only saw that little 12-minute snippet from Ruslan's trailer. That immediately threw me to the back burner and saying I'm never going to watch it. I just want to hear your guys' perspective on it. Only reason why is because in the trailer, you can 100% hear that Gavin is kind of
Trying to
virtue
frame it.
signaling, virtue signaling, framing, as well as preaching to the audience instead of talking directly to you guys. There's a lot of that going
Here's
on.
one thing, guys. In the chat, listen up. I have a plan. We should when the full one drops.
Oh no.
Go raid the comment section and support our boy Josh and be like, Ruslan, you got freaking Gavin, Trent, and both of them got smoked by an Orthodox catechumen.
So
Gas-
Go
I
hype
want-
up our boy Josh. That's what. Maybe don't even watch it. Just if you want to, good. I'd say probably because I imagine Josh probably said some really good things. However,
I think someone
Go
should just
comment
snip all
and
the
support our-
highlights.
yeah, go comment and support our boy Josh when that thing drops.
Someone should just cut all the highlights and just Josh, just straight.
Just a
It'll
compilation.
literally be like 7 minutes long, dude.
But the
We
reason
already
why I
got
mentioned
everything he
that
had in the clip.
the reason why I mentioned that, especially considering, no offense, Josh, as a catechumen, I was also a catechumen for like a year and a half, or almost a year and a half. But I noticed that there's this shift going on in Protestantism. Alex, you mentioned it before, along with Ben from Cleve, as well as Jay also mentioned it. This shift in Protestantism with the orthosphere going on online and apologetics and polemics, seeming to be a more booming shift towards orthodoxy. Protestants and Roman Catholics are leaning together, or joining together,
Yes,
and they're doing whatever they can to,
and
and they're doing whatever they
can.
can to avoid getting somebody like Alex and Jay and Father Stephen DeYoung, Father Josiah Trent, and Father Peter Harris. They're avoiding these things, and they're doing it deliberately, which is why they're reaching out to low tier. And I'm not calling you low tier at all. I don't know anything about you. But the thing is, they would rather reach out to a catechumen than reach out to a layperson that's actually held accountable with, mind you, the blessings of a priest to do apologetics.
And they
You
got
do
mobbed.
have-
Have you seen David's hair or Joshua's hair? I'm sorry, I just
Yeah.
called him David because I was thinking of David Erhan.
That is my middle name, is David.
And I noticed this shift in the air. Like it's almost palpable.
It's
honestly.
everybody versus orthodoxy, dude.
And that's,
You're right.
like, you can't ignore that. This is a prime example, and you could see how not only is it leaning towards that, but it's leaning towards a very, very heavy grifting sphere with Protestantism. Like, if Ruslan has all this money to build an entire an event like that, you could at least, as someone who's hosting an event, reach out to,
Pay for
according
Perry
to
Zuber.
Gavin's, like, you can reach out to somebody according to Gavin's requested specs reach out to someone. Yeah, like his requested specs. Like these are my bare minimums. Let me at least, like with that level of influence he has, he could have reached out to someone, but he didn't. Instead, he this is, and on top of that, it's being narrative pushed with a very grifting. Oh, look at us Protestants and Roman Catholics bang on orthodoxy. Like, that's very grifting, and they're doing it on purpose. It's very misleading. It's very dishonest, and I noticed that another problem is that nobody has. I'm not going to say nobody has the discernment, but for some weird reason, nobody wants to attack that paradigm. Nobody wants to attack that perspective.
I have been trying to call it out because this is something I've noticed recently, and what I think it is, it's like a pan-Protestant ecumenism. Because of Vatican II, the Roman Catholics can say this. They can just say that they're separated brethren from the Protestants.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Their
Trent says that.
And if you guys want a good book on this, I was reading it because Father Peter Heers was going to come on the show, but Father Dr. Peter Heers, I think this is pulled from his doctoral dissertation, actually. Ecclesiological Renovation of Vatican II. It's actually very good. It's he compares Augustine and Yves Congar and the Donatist controversy, which was like kind of a very practical solution to a very concrete and immediate problem, to the creation of these exceptions into a blanket rule in Vatican II, where like now wherever you're baptized, it's valid. And yeah, so I understand that from Trent's perspective, because I mean it's dogma for him now. He has
to uphold to it.
But like Father Stephen points out, like if Cooper is going to be consistent, Jordan Cooper, consistent with his Lutheran positions, and Gavin is going to be consistent with his Calvinist positions, they have big problems, because for like 500 years they have been arguing about what is in the Eucharist.
Well,
and the extra Calvinisticum.
There's got to be a way of, I don't know, like with this whole, you could see from the perspective of the way Vatican II framed everything that essentially Rome is leaning more towards a very traditional looking Protestant perspective.
And here's the thing, it's not only ecumenist where like we're all brothers and sisters and kumbaya or whatever. It's also relativist, because they all disagree on everything. So then it becomes like your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth. Well, hold on. I thought the Bible, when Peter in 2 Peter wrote down that baptism now saves you, I thought that he meant something by that. What did he mean? It can't be one thing for me and then a contradicting thing for you. There has to be an objective truth there to what he meant.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
It's ecumenism and relativism, and Gavin is one of the people that's buying into it. Like, I'm reading about Yves Congar in here in this book, and I'm like, dude, Gavin is Yves Congar. Like, he is. He has the exact same views as this radical ecumenist Roman Catholic theologian. It's almost identical. I was shocked at how identical.
Sprinkle a little Nestorian, up in there, and then, put a cardigan in there, and now you got yourself cardigan and some khakis. You got yourself 2026, Gavin.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. I am trying to be respectful of Josh's
time. Go ahead. So did at any point during that entire conference you feel like you were being, I guess, in the way that I would understand is like jumped or personally like?
No, and I will be honest. And again, like Gavin and Trent were super kind. I think there were things that, like I said, I initially. So Tony, I don't know how long you've been watching, but I did my priest or my spiritual father just said, Josh, less is more. So there were times when I was like, hey, you're reframing, you're begging the question. Trent was, I thought, gish galloping. I thought he was just piling on answers where you couldn't answer all the things he was saying. But I was trying to abide by the direction from my spiritual father and say, like, listen, if it's not a debate, if it's to be a dialogue, if they're going to go back and forth at each other, you don't need to be like the third guy in a fight trying to just like jump in with stuff.
Yeah.
I did say to them after some of those things, I just said like, hey, like, I think you reframed there. That's not on video, obviously. And I had good conversations with them before and after in the green room. I don't feel like they jumped me. There's some stuff here that is interesting for me to see from like the perspective of X and hear what's been going on in this world. Like, again, this is a thing I'm totally ignorant to. my art, like even on Instagram, I post and then I dip out for the day. And so to see some of the stuff that's been going on, it is, what's the right way of saying this? I'll have to be a lot more mindful of these things because you guys have been swimming in these waters for a long time. There's things that I don't know about Gavin, Trent, any of the stuff that's gone on online for so long. Oh, he was also a charismatic person.
Yeah, I think I came across that too, but I forgot until you mentioned it. Yeah.
Tony, I'll just say I didn't feel jumped. I thought they were generally pretty kind and accommodating. Now, that was just my experience. Whether or not there's a bunch of history that you guys have that I don't. So that was just my experience of it all.
Yeah, I understand. If in the future, I mean, now that you're plugged in with Alex, I think in the future, if you ever decide to do something like that on a dialogue, you should pregame that first.
Oh, and you know what? Yeah, totally. And then I would also say, like, because of how it was pitched originally, and my initial yes was to have like a kind of armchair discussion, kind of like bro to bro to bro, around why we were choosing the direction we were going. So it was going to be a delight for me to be like, here's why I left Protestantism, didn't go to Rome, and went to Eastern Orthodoxy. And I didn't get that opportunity during that panel discussion. During my talk, I got to lay out some more stuff. And then during all of the conversations I had after, I got to say tons of those things. So I will say that I think them going at each other, God used to give me like an open dialogue with tons of other people. Now, not online, obviously, so that's different.
No, yeah, like behind closed doors and stuff like that.
You know what? That ultimately is the goal of all this, right? Is to get people.
Like, I will say there are people who've been following me, and they are because of some of these things, they came and they're like, Josh, they're converting to Orthodoxy. They're catechumens now, and so like it's I don't mean because of me. Please don't hear what I'm saying. They've been able to follow some of my journey, process the questions that I'm processing. We've been able to point each other in good directions, and by God's grace, He's led them home.
Yeah, that's Orthodox evangelicalism, right? Or like evangelizing. That's right there. That's literally evangelizing.
So that's
you're sharing the experiences you've had without proselytizing, which would obviously go against Orthodox canon for us catechumens.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course.
But I'm gonna let you guys go. That way, I'm not wasting any more of your time.
Thanks, Tony.
God bless you guys, and once again, Christ is risen.
Truly, He is risen. Thanks. We just got a few super chats. Call in. I only call in to credential the live streams. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Marco. And my Juris Doctor degree is not enough. Leather strap for $5. Thanks. He says, I think Gavin blocked Perry after the correction on one of the sources he cites in his icon videos. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Yeah, that could be the reason. I'm pretty sure he did block Perry. So Alex says Sam's whole gripe with Jay is because Jay said the Father is the God of the Son. Because hold on. Isn't there like a psalm that expressly says that? I could be wrong on this, but I think
Psalm 110. It's probably Psalm 110. My Lord said to my Lord.
Hello. Good morning, people. The catechumen knows this. And Sam's making a big deal about that. Doesn't sound like a controversial statement at all to me. That's pretty crazy. I'm not saying you're wrong, Alex. I'm saying that I believe Sam crashed out over that, but I'm like just more and more shocked at what they decide to take issue with. We got 5 gifted from Octavian, dude. Thank you so much. Got to give you the soundboard.
Righteousness is but filthy rags before God, Daddy. That's going to send you straight to hell, amen.
That's right. This works, filthy rags. Faith without works is dead. You need both. Orthodox Piccolo, what's going on, Alex and Josh? I didn't know Josh until yesterday, but I look forward to seeing your stuff. Christ is risen. Truly he is risen.
Truly he is risen. Thanks, man.
I thought it was a funny comment from Austin. He goes, I think the other Paul played for a while, like Alex didn't get in his head, but now he's revealing a bit. Dude, I just blocked him eventually because I was like, this guy's coming after me kind of personally on X. You're not on X, Josh, so you probably don't know this, but so somebody commented on one of his posts and he said something like, you're just still salty about the debate that you lost with Alex. There's like clearly somebody like kind of trolling him. And his response was like, oh yeah, what did I mess up? What did I say wrong? And then I was like, okay, come on, Paul, let's not And I commented and I was like, let's not reopen the debate. Just leave it the way it is. Like, it happened. It's there. If they're curious, they can go watch the video. Leave it as it is. Like, don't reopen all this Pandora's box again. And he did not take that advice. And there's a cascade of tweets after that, which resulted in me basically blocking him. So I've become a fan of the block recently. But yeah, he's the other Paul is certainly unraveling here. Absolutely. You are spot on, Winston. In the filth, $2, he's talking about Marilyn, fruits of private interpretation, and she made wine.
And drunk off of it.
The Franzia maxing. Marilyn is coherent worldview maxing from Zach 799. Thank you. We wasn't kings, we was gods. It's crazy, dude. Thanks for the $5, Nathan. When is the debate between her and
yeah, dude.
It'll never happen because she'll call in and say one thing and he'll just boot her right off the bat. Or if you catch him in a good mood, maybe he'll just ask her about her Franzia or something. Thanks for the $2. Wine Mom here is giving us a systematic theology lesson. What does that mean, Josh? You know what that means?
No, I don't know that.
Oh,
systematic.
I'm gonna look that up later.
Yeah.
Thanks for the $7.99 Australian.
Yeah, thanks for the $8.
$2 from Val. Alex, stop. I mean, I'm trying to be gracious with people, Val. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this. In Romanian the term is milos, like merciful in a loving way and a little bit soft, but don't tell anybody that. That's a secret between me and you, chat. Josh Ostler, $5. Thank you. I read Josh's book last year and it was a phenomenal help in my journey to orthodoxy. God bless, from Australia.
Praise God.
Another 5 gifted from Octavian, and new membership from Michael Sherman. So, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Josh, plug all of your stuff, dude.
Yeah, I have an Instagram called Sword and Pencil. I have a Substack called Everyday Saints, and then I've got a couple books. You can buy them, you cannot buy them. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. This is a blast. It was great to get to connect.
Yeah, and I think it sheds light. So now at least we have some facts where people can draw like more informed conclusions. Like, we have a timeline set out. We have like your general sentiment of the whole thing out there, and it seems like regardless of performance, which it seems like you did fine, it was still like very fruitful in terms of people being interested in holy orthodoxy. So we got another super chat here at the straggler here. Alex, $5 says, just look at the last 3 YouTube community posts from Sam. Do I want to? His first one explicitly states my previous super chat. The Orb Lord Supreme. His first one explicitly states my previous super chat, and he is saying Jay is saying I think he's just ankle biting a bit because Jay is having his moment on Twitter and he wants a piece of it, because Jay is over here trying to 3v1 like the top guys of the opposition, and Sam is kind of on the sidelines. Like, he had his moment though. Like, he was on who's that guy, like the business guy, his podcast, Bet David, Patrick Bet David. Yeah, he was on his podcast. That was huge. I think he did some big ones. So
I think it was the Orb Crash Out, dude.
It's the Orb Crash Out. I wonder if there is a connection between, Origin and the Eschaton thought that we had become perfect orbs because they're the most perfect shape. They'd be like spheres, perfect spheres in the Eschaton. I wonder if there's a connection between the Shamunian orbs and the Originistic spheres.
Yeah, definitely. Just I will contemplate orbs all night. Just contemplating my orbs.
Cool. Okay, guys, thanks again for the very or on the channel, for being polite and nice to my new friend Josh, and love you guys. See you later.
Thanks so much. God bless. Okay, I think